You're recording. You're good.
Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, your award-winning go-to all things automotive place, along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin, who's off camera, Don Armstrong here. Glad that you could join us on this Saturday. It's kind of a gloomy Saturday outside. We had some storms roll through last evening, but it's supposed to be nice this afternoon and then storm again tomorrow. So
temperature's good.
It is nice. Yeah, and it's not going to be that way long. Because
and you don't look gloomy. You look quite cheery this morning.
Festive.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, I thought, here's this shirt hanging in the closet. I thought
got hibiscus on it and pineapple and
there you go.
Is that what that is?
He is Don Ho.
Don, yeah, we can go.
I've been waiting for the show to start to say that joke.
Tiny bubbles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a couple of people have said good morning to Ray Ray.
Oh, that's great. So we know who those people are. Hey, it's Ray. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. At any rate, so we're going to have a good time this morning. And do we have Rochelle yet?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're going to start the show off with one of our favorite folks, Rochelle Salinas, and she is with the Houston Auto Dealers Association that puts on the Houston Auto Show. Look at you, all bright and cheery and looking nice. How are you? It's good to see you.
Oh, it's so great to see you guys. I miss you so much.
Well, you don't have to miss us anymore because here we are and here for you. How you been?
Pretty good. Hanging in there, trying to find ways to keep busy, I guess.
Yeah, so...
you have 3 children. What do you mean finding a way to keep busy?
Professionally.
Oh, okay.
So are you going on? You won't be going on a Christmas excursion this year like you did last year, will you?
Unfortunately, no. COVID is also rampant in Mexico, and so all of our family plans have been canceled there.
We hope
Very
and pray
sadly,
everybody's safe.
Yeah.
We'll be here safe.
So I guess the first thing out of the box with you this morning is the fact that no Houston Auto Show this year, which is really kind of not a surprise with everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate, of course. Back in October, we did decide to postpone the January show, and we really had our fingers crossed. We knew that it just wasn't going to be possible, feasible, everything's so uncertain to do in January. So we were really anticipating some May dates and had those booked with Energy Center and was working towards that with, many manufacturers buy-in saying, yes, put us down, pencil us in. Once we know everything is, improving with coronavirus, we'll move forward. We had a lot of contingency plans of taking care of people and safety precautions and temperature checks and all the things that were going to need to go into place. So we were working trying to figure out how all of that could happen in May. And many people heard this week, the Houston Rodeo has decided to move from March to May. And I'm glad that they can, move such a large scale event to that time and be able to do that. But unfortunately, that takes away the dates for us.
Oh boy.
And that puts it way too close for our planning, for the manufacturer's planning, for our January 2022 show. So we've just decided to go ahead and cancel this year, hold out, and work towards a really spectacular show in 2022.
Well, my gut tells me that I'm not really too sure about the rodeo doing their thing in May either, because the way things are going now, I mean, this COVID thing is red hot, especially here in the Houston area. And man, May is pretty quick afterwards, and that would be a super spreader event they've actually fudged just a little bit and said, this is our plan today.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
Which means it's still flexible, and depending on where they are with vaccine and all that stuff as to what all gets pulled off. But I would think waiting until 2022, I would assume that they would have a pretty good kibosh on all of this, and we should be able to have the Houston Auto Show again.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic for 22's event, and I think that we can definitely hopefully do that with the vaccine being in place by then, as long as all of that goes smoothly, which it's definitely a logistical feat to get through to get everyone vaccinated, the people that want to be vaccinated. So hopefully that can take place. But I know the manufacturers and our own budgets are extremely eager to have the auto show and have a place where people can gather safely and experience life again.
Well, and when you talk about budget, you know, one of the good things though is that the car business has been strong in Houston. You know,
Thankfully.
it hasn't collapsed the way a lot of people would assume it has. So, you know, that's everybody's itching to get back to the show circuit.
Yeah, and that had a lot to do with HADA's efforts legislatively, making sure that car dealerships were deemed essential businesses and that, you know, people could still go out and get a car if they needed one or get their car serviced and repaired if needed to. You know, people forget how dependent we are on vehicles here in Houston. And if you're in an unfortunate accident or your vehicle breaks down, you're going to need a place to buy a new one. So it was really important for us to make dealerships an essential business. And when we were able to do that, that kept this going for them and keeping them steady.
And people need to understand that HADA is not just about a car show. You guys have, I would say, probably spend much more effort on the legislative side of things as well, making sure things are happening for the car dealers.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're a giving association. So we have, you know, over $300,000 that we give in scholarships, and we help purchase the new trucks for the motorist assistance program. So there's a lot that we do with our revenues from the Houston Auto Show. And that's why it's extremely important for us to have it. But thankfully, we're in a place where we can still get by and, you know, be cautious and precautious this year with our budget so that in 2022, we can kind of pick up where we left off.
Well, you know, Rochelle, I read a story here on our show, I guess it was about a month or so ago, about research when it comes to car buyers and potential buyers. You're people that would come to the Houston Auto Show and research cars before they buy. And I did not realize how huge an impact that car show has on new car buyers. And that everybody that's really into new cars and they're thinking about buying them, they go to the car show. And I didn't realize that was like 72% of the people that go are actually looking to buy a car. It's huge. And the impact that you guys have on the, 5-day, 6-day show is huge in itself, and the fact that you've got people out there that got money in their pockets, they're out there shopping for cars. And you know, however many people you put through, 250,000 people in a few days?
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to have this type of marketing event, because that it is the no pressure place where you can actually do your consumer research in person. And when you're buying such an expensive item for yourself, you're not just only going to look online and read reviews. You need to touch it, see it, feel it, sit in it, see how it hugs you in the seat, see if the car seats go in. You have to do all of that. And that's why the auto show is really vital. And our surveys show that, you know, more than 60% of the people are there to comparison shop and buy a car within the next 6 months of attending the auto show. And I know personal people that have testimonials that they have waited to make their vehicle purchase until they came to the auto show just in case they didn't see something else that they wanted. So it's a really important event. And I really hope that, you know, this environment and the way that culture changes during a pandemic doesn't affect, you know, the importance and the successfulness of auto shows around the country.
Well, let's face it, the fact of the matter is that you're not alone when it comes to auto shows that have been postponed for another year.
Yeah, very much
I mean,
so.
every one of them that we are familiar with, that they've all been postponed too. It's a shame.
Right.
And, you know, the Detroit Auto Show, which was the hallmark, if you will, of auto shows for decades and decades, they had a big event planned for last summer. That didn't happen. And it's just been a huge mess. But moving forward, do you think that this is going to make the auto shows maybe consider a different kind of venue? All I could think of was, well, why don't they have open-sided tents covering the cars? Yeah, that may sound crazy, but at least it would be a car show where people could shop for cars under an open-air tent. Does that make sense to you?
Of course. And what's really the silver lining of situations like this is people get creative and they start to think out of the box. And my colleagues in Kansas City have moved their show to early summertime, and they're going to put it at their raceway, at their NASCAR raceway, and host everything outside and have extended ride and drives because now they have a racetrack to do that on.
Oh, that's
it's
a good
really,
idea.
you know, people are thinking out of the box and getting creative. The issue is with safety for people during a pandemic is everyone is in a line to sit inside of a car.
Yep.
To be able to clean and sanitize a vehicle in time and not put anyone at risk is extremely challenging. And so that's why, end all, kind of decision making is those are challenges that are really hard to overcome. And it's just probably safer if we just.
Yeah, because at the Houston Auto Show, particularly the Jeep and Ram drive events, they're inside. There's people lined up, and they'll stand there for 30, 40 minutes in line.
Every bit of that.
All day long, people are standing there for that.
I have a question.
Exactly. And those with a professional driver, I think it's a little bit easier to implement those cleaning tactics. But the vehicles that are just on display that people are getting in and out of the back seat with multiple families in the different parts of the car because they just want to see it and it's a crowded event.
That's true. They don't really have somebody, an attendant per se, to stand right there with every vehicle.
Well, that's also been a subject of discussion among all of the dealerships. So if you go to a dealership, what do you do there? And I know that there is a protocol that dealerships are now using to sanitize vehicles and appointments and this sort of thing. So even the visit to the dealership has changed, hasn't it?
My question is...
Absolutely, yeah. Monument Chevrolet, they've been fogging their machines. They have these really cool fogging guns, and they fog each vehicle that comes into the service department. And then it's an option for the customer if they want to fog their vehicle when they leave the service department as well. So yeah, people are getting creative, and I admire that.
Rochelle, I have a question. With the large event that the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo is, and of course the auto show is a large event, has anybody come up with an idea to maybe partner together in that time frame to reduce costs and the budget costs? And obviously, both events are not going to be as enormous coming into 2021 as they were in the past. Partnership and split the event.
That's a great question. When we were looking at hosting in May, we were actually going to have to make the venue smaller for us because we knew that there was a number of manufacturers that have already said that they weren't going to participate in the show. So we were working with the venue to possibly reschedule also the boat or the RV show at the same time as us. Oh. And in that way we could have a dual ticket and, be creative thinking it in that way. But it still is a bit of a numbers game.
Well, yeah,
absolutely.
Because you're only allowed so many people in the building at a time. And,
exactly.
those restrictions. And then on top of that, the space restrictions.
You have no idea the analyzing we've been doing on our end on how to reconfigure things to make it spacious and how to fit people in the building, and would that amount of people coming into the building still be safe and profitable, and how would it all work? And we've e-ticketing, and our 90% of our tickets are purchased at the door on the day of, and how are we going to go all zero box office at the door? So there was a lot of analyzing going into what we were going to have to do in May, and I'm sure some of those ideas and safety precautions will still be implemented having a January 22 event, just because risk is going to be different then.
So, Rochelle, let's shift gears for just a second. Let's talk about the dealers themselves. What are they saying? What are they dealing with? How are they handling this whole thing?
When I started working with the dealer community back in 2011 and had learned how they overcame the 2008 economic downfall, and time again, the dealers are able to recreate themselves. And even though for the consumer, it's still a traditional visit and people can say all they want that the dealership never changes, but they are really quick on their feet at figuring out how to do things. And a lot of dealerships on the safety side of just administering now have two shifts of employees. They have an A shift and a B shift, so that if there's an outbreak of coronavirus in their dealership, they know they're not losing all of their staff at one entire time, that they can bring in the B team, and that they're all kind of working in their own households in a way. So that's been really smart in their kind of logistical planning. They're also working on skeleton shifts in many ways, or skeleton staff, and they're definitely cleaning and making appointments and doing online consultations along the way, and then doing at-home test drives. There's many dealerships now that offer to bring you the vehicle to your home. You test drive it there. They go over it with you at a distance with their mask and all the safety precautions that they can implement. And then you can make a buying decision right there from your doorstep.
I've got another story that I'm going to do a little bit later on in our news segment, and that is the fact that actually there is a shortage of inventory across the United States in many categories. They just, because of various and sundry things that have happened because of coronavirus that has really hampered production levels. Are the Houston dealers dealing with that as well?
They really hurt from that in the summertime. They started getting inventory back in the fall, and now pretty much everyone is back on track of getting the inventory that they need. There are some luxury brands and European-made brands that are struggling with that, and mostly it's because, you know, they're doing business costs. Jaguar Land Rover is one of those cases. They're selling more vehicles in Europe than they could make profitable to ship and sell vehicles here. So the inventories here in the US are really low, and they're just keeping sales in Europe. So things like that are happening with inventory. But, you know, domestic brands are all really coming back on track with their getting vehicles there, but they're definitely selling fast because they're not at inventory levels that they've had before. So it's like when you go into the dealership and you find something you want, you better be ready to like make that decision right then, because that vehicle might not be there in a couple hours.
And probably won't be, considering the speed at what they're selling at right now. You know, the traffic at the dealerships is pretty good. The dealerships are adapting almost every day to try and bring the customers something new in the way that they deal with the COVID situation that kind of puts them above the crowd and gives customers a reason to come to that store. So they've been real good about making those systemic changes to how they manage customers coming in and out of the stores.
So do you have any suggestions for somebody that's looking to buy a car as to how they would approach a dealer? Would do it online, go visit the store? What would be the most time-efficient method of looking and buying a new car?
Bring cash.
Well, obviously, I always recommend to people, like, kind of have in mind the specifications that you want and your budget, and then call that dealership today, depending on your risk and comfort level. You know, everyone has a different risk level and different antibodies, or you've had the vaccine. So everyone has their own necessities to being safe. But if you're trying to be the most precautious that you can, I'd say look at every dealership has their inventory online now. So look online, check out the vehicle first, then call them up, make an appointment. Because when you make an appointment, you know that you're going to get that attention. You're not going to be waiting around in the dealership for the salesperson. It's going to be a much more fluid process, and that's going to help you. And if you're even more high risk, then see if that dealership, you know, can bring that vehicle to you. Especially if you live within 5 to 10 miles of the dealership, they're definitely going to do that. And any of the higher brands will pretty much take the vehicle anymore.
And most dealerships have a very active internet department. So when you're online looking at a vehicle, there's somebody kind of waiting for you to enter the chat room to start talking to you and engage you immediately. So there really isn't any waiting to talk to them about a specific vehicle and inventory.
Rochelle Salinas, we sure love you, and we miss you this year, and we hope that we get to see you before the next car show in a year. Of course, we'll definitely chat till then, so be sure and tell Wyatt we said hello, and the best to you and your family. And don't go to Mexico. Stay here,
No.
And if you're looking for something to do, come on over to Sugar Land.
Thank you. I will. It's been a pleasure to catch up with you guys. Have a great day.
You do the
Thank
same.
you.
Bye, honey. Rochelle Salinas, Houston Auto Dealers Association. It's always great to talk to her.
She knows what's going on.
She does.
I'll
Smart
tell
lady.
you.
Yeah, she is very good at what she does. It's time for you guys to make the old switcheroo. So we can get Jeffrey over here, and he's going to do our pre-owned car of the week. And this week we have a special treat for you. And don't turn us off because I'm not interested in that. Because we've got some news for you here.
Your 1984 Yugo? Just gonna review a Yugo.
Well, I'm glad he's not going to review a Yugo. You know, I never knew anybody that owned one, nor do I.
Oh, I knew a dealership that sold them. It was
What a disaster.
It was bad. They'd come off the truck, and you'd look down at the shifter boot, and you could see the ground through the shifter boot.
But you had a story on why they put
Rear window defoggers on them.
Why is that?
Because it keeps your hands warm while you're pushing it.
I love that story.
You know, that's why they named it a Yugo. Because you wait here with the car, and you go call the wrecker.
You know, I think
Anyhow,
Conrad at info at
realtime.com. Wanted to remind you guys that we're going to be giving away next hour two $40 gift certificates to Black Bear Diners. There are two of them here in the Houston area. And our address is info@inwheeltime.com. As a matter of fact, if you'd like to get into the pool to win a $40 worth of free dining at the Black Bear Diner, send us your contact information. You can either do it with your email address or your phone number, whatever you want to do, to info@inwheeltime.com.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and we'll pull a couple of winners and get you some gift certificates. They got to be used before the end of the year, so you haven't got a lot of time. Okay, time now for this hour's car review. It's our pre-owned car of the week. Jeffrey's got the 2017 Honda Odyssey.
Oh, I love this. I'm a minivan person.
I am too. I love those things.
I love minivan. Kathy despises them. My wife despises them, but don't even think about it. It's just amazing. So this is a 2017 Honda Odyssey. The trim levels are an LX, an EX, an EXL, an EXL with rear entertainment. We all love that. And then the SE Touring Elite. The one I'm reviewing here is the SE Touring Elite. It is a minivan. It is a multi-passenger vehicle, not to be mistaken with an SUV or a CUV. It is 8 seats, which is 8 passengers in this particular one. We talk about 8 seats in other vehicles or 4 seats, and it's not necessarily the passengers. This is a cool vehicle. I like it. Some of the changes that are produced year to year, you got some front fascia changes. You've got, as you see there underneath the doors, you've got all the sculpture and things for that body styling, roof racks, fog lamps, sunroofs, and things to have the changes year to year. Exterior features, daytime running lights. All the vehicles have that now. Front and rear independent suspension with sway bar. So that would be interesting there. It's a good handling, good ride. 235/65 R17s with alloy wheels. And, of course, there's...
good size tire.
Yeah, it's a good size tire, and it's a good handling car. It's a good handling vehicle. I like minivans. So so far as the...
Do you like minivans?
I do.
Okay.
You know, if Cadillac made one, I'd be all over it. I would be all over the Cadillac.
Well, those things are so gussied up these days, they're almost like a Cadillac.
You know what? And that's the whole point, because you can get the same features in a minivan as you can in a luxury vehicle.
But what was the John Travolta movie? The Oldsmobile Silhouette was the Cadillac of minivans.
The Oldsmobile Silhouette.
You know, that was they said that in the movie.
Yep.
I can't remember what movie it was.
But all minivans. Not
Get
just,
Shorty. Get Shorty.
Get Shorty.
I picked the Honda because when we get further down into the review, I'll give you
just go for it.
There you go. So the comfort and safety, you know, you got cool heated seats, you got leather, you got sunroof, you got blind spot sensors, you've got a rear vacuum cleaner, which is very, very cool. HUD with a head-up display, power seats, lane departure, satellite radio, 7 speakers with a subwoofer, GPS, third row seating, child safety latches, video monitor. I'm going through this. There's like 16 different things just in this vehicle. Separate radio for the rear, 3-zone climate control, 7 exterior colors, 3 interior colors, Conrad, in case you're writing that down. So very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, but I will if you want.
Are you trying to sell the damn thing? Or what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to sell my wife because she's listening. So
Lord.
There you go. 3.5 liter V6, 24 valve, variable speed timing. It's got a single overhead cam. It is 248 horsepower at 5,700 RPM. Now,
Perfect.
That's a lot of horsepower for a minivan. 250, and they do 250 on the torque, and they do measure it in Newton meters because it is a Honda. Look at that shot. I like that. Is that cool?
There's Don in the back seat.
They're done. Yeah.
Or am I the driver? Looks like Barbie and Ken there, doesn't it?
It does, but isn't that a cool feature? I think
yeah,
that's awesome.
I'd like to see that vehicle in particular because it doesn't have doors on it.
Well,
look at the thigh bolsters on that seat in the back.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's like a racing seat.
Oh my God.
So it's a 6-speed automatic transmission. Mileage is 19 miles per gallon in the city, 27 on the highway with a combined of 22.
I love thigh bolsters.
You do. It's a 21-gallon tank at 300.
I want that car. See, it doesn't have a side on it.
Look at that. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's great.
It shows the third row seating as well. So just to give you an overall view that there is room, they're spacious, you know, for what they...
Well, and you can also see in that picture what they call theater seating. Front row is lower than the middle row row that's lower than the back row.
Right. There's the engine, the 3.5 liter V6. Moving on to this, I like minivans, in case I hadn't told you that.
There you are with the
Kathy,
kids.
you're about to get a
Oh,
minivan.
now look at
That
this.
right there, that is a Honda. This car was actually featured on Jay Leno at one time. This is a 1,000 horsepower Honda Odyssey minivan. Isn't that cool?
Pimp my Honda.
Pimp my Honda.
Pimp my minivan. That is so cool.
I like the big thing on the roof up there.
Yeah, that's a Thule. That's for Thule is a Northwest United States product for camping. And
Why would you do that on a 1,000 horsepower lowered Honda minivan?
Why
'Cause you
not?
can.
Yes, why not?
That's so dumb. Is that where you keep
Why
the
not?
tools or what?
You could, yeah, or the Thule. So this is a 30. It's got 37,000 miles on it. It's right around 30 grand. Anywhere you can get them, depending on the mileage, anywhere from 25.
If you
to
can
40.
find them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the minivans in the category are the Chrysler Town and Country, the Nissan Quest, Toyota Sienna, Kia Sportage, the Dodge Caravan, which is the normal, the start of all this. You've got a Chevrolet full size, and then you've got a Mercedes the minivan.
But the minivan market's very much shrinking from the manufacturer's point of view. It used to be everybody offered a minivan.
Yeah.
Now it's probably four or five really that still have a minivan out there.
Competitive.
And I know even on the Chrysler side, haven't they moved it all over to the Pacifica?
Yes. And in case you don't know, I'm a minivan fan.
You've mentioned that several times.
Have I? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
trade
wanted-
that Cadillac in on a minivan.
Don't, Cadillac, if you're listening, create a minivan. I'll
You know
be
what
your-
we could do?
And Jeff will drive it
We
for
could
you.
take the Honda Odyssey, take the stickers off of it, and put Cadillac stickers on
And
it,
a-
kind
and
of
a-
like
and a
you've done out there.
V-series.
Yeah,
A
kind of like you've done with yours, and put the V on
That's
back
another
of it.
story for another episode.
No, it's not. It's the story for this day.
Well, okay.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
You bet.
All right, got a couple of news stories I want to get in before the top of the hour. Ford Motor Company's 2021 F-150 Hybrid won't claim the overall pickup mileage crown, but it will beat out all gas-powered rivals, according to EPA estimates. The redesigned truck's 3.5-liter V6 Power Boost hybrid variant with two-wheel drive will get 25 mpg combined, 25 mpg city, 26 highway. That's according to Ford on Friday. It still trails diesel variants such as the Chevy Silverado and the Ram 1500. Chevy's 27 and 26. It's not that big of a deal. But the redesigned F-150, including the hybrid model, is on sale now. And I thought this was pretty interesting. Lincoln claimed the top spot in 2020 for its first solo win as the highest scoring luxury brand in the J.D. Power U.S. Sales Satisfaction Index study released Thursday. BMW's Mini ranked highest among mass market brands, replacing Buick in the top spot.
That's surprising.
Mini has ranked in the top 3 since 2010. I didn't realize that. J.D. Power said the survey included 35,816.1 buyers who purchased or leased a new vehicle from January through June of 2020. Genesis had the best improvement from last year with an increase of 45 points, but still remained in place, last place among luxury brands at 770.
So this is the survey of the purchase experience at the dealership, not the vehicle quality. So this is, how the dealership treated you in the purchase process.
Did I not say that? It's the Sales Satisfaction Index.
Well, I'm just kind of saying that so, everybody hears J.D. Powers and they kind of think it's always quality. This is about...
Yeah, they have many drill it down in whatever thing that you can think of.
And all the manufacturers are proud to take the top spot of whatever survey they take.
CSI, yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here on the In Wheel Time Car Show after these brief messages.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy a Lupi Tortilla breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, December 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one place. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a 3-hour friends and family event. The Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, December 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Loopy's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too, and you're invited to join us. We'll see you there.
By the way, that is next weekend. We'll see you there from 8 to 11 at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in the Katy area. That's at 99 and I-10.
Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com.
Hello, everybody. From Studio A in Texas, USA, it's the award-winning all things automotive car talk show, In Wheel Time. Just ahead, a review of our new car of the week, the 2020 Ford Expedition Max. This week in auto history. And the stories making automotive news headlines. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time car show for Saturday, December 12th, 2020. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin's just off camera over there. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. I want to remind everybody that we are giving away this hour two $40 gift certificates, or certificates worth $40. How's that? To Black Bear Diners. There's a couple of them here in Houston. We did a little deal to get you guys some goodies, and we
Christmas gifts.
There you go.
Take the wife, take the family, whatever. Black Bear Diner was gracious enough to shoot us some gift certificates. So we're going to do that, and if you'll go and send us an email right now, just your contact information. We don't share it with anybody or none of that. This contact information, we can either do it through email or we can do it through a phone number. However you want to do it, send it to info@inwheeltime.com, your name, obviously, and we'll put you in a little hat drawing that we're going to have later this hour, and we'll announce it next hour. So two $40 gift certificates, so that means we're going to have two winners. So,
Two.
yeah,
Count
two.
240.
So if you're outside of the Houston area, don't bother. But if you're inside the Houston
Unless you want
area,
to drive into Houston to eat at
Well,
the
you
Black
could-
Bear Diner.
Yeah, you could
There's
do that.
one in Missouri City and there's one in Katy.
But we have guests, we have listeners and viewers
All around the world. Actually,
Sure.
we do have.
What happens if someone wants to fly in for that?
hey, if that's what you want to do, then sign up for it.
You can't. Everybody's involved.
We don't want to. We don't discriminate.
Exactly.
We'll get Ruse out there in west of where's he at? Where's Stephen Ruse at? Out in
I don't know where Steven is.
Cleveland or something. He can drive into the Katy location.
No, better yet, we get George Skelton to come in. And which, by the way,
George is in Waco.
no, George is up in
Temple.
East Texas, and so we need to thank him because he
Thank
is
you very
supplying
much.
our lunch today.
Oh boy.
From the Perini Ranch. We've got a couple of beef tenderloins. So after today's show, we're going to go into the house and we are going
Pig
to
out.
have, we're going to have us some
One way
sandwiches.
to put it.
The In Wheel Time cafeteria.
And for anybody else out there that
Studio
wants
A
to
cafeteria.
send
Studio A
us
cafeteria.
food.
Yeah,
Anybody else out there that wants to send us food at info@inwheeltime.com,
you can do
we'll
that
send you
too.
the
You
information.
got old Cheetos in the vending machine in there.
yeah. No, that's the Hep or Seth
that's
vending
right.
machine, right? It's all spread out. You had the trust factor. Well, with us, forget all that.
And expired hummus.
Yeah, that's right, expired hummus. Well, we thought since we're getting close to Christmas here, we got a couple of weeks to go, that we would kind of focus our attention on possible automotive Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Automotive related. So what better person to go to than John Rawson over at ProAm Accessories. Hey, John, how are you? Good to see you.
Hi, guys.
Was it
Can you
last
see
week?
me?
Last week that we had you over there at Circuit of the
yeah.
Americas, and how did
Yeah.
that go for you?
It went pretty well Saturday. We did good. We ended up finishing 7th in class out of 20 and 28th out of 96 cars that started the race overall. So
that's really good.
For a bunch of 50-year-old guys, we were pretty satisfied with those results.
Youngsters, yeah. Well, fine.
Congratulations.
Well, not in the group that we race with anymore. We're kind of the old men now, but
somebody has to be.
Yeah, right. That's okay. We're still having a lot of fun, and we're going to keep doing it. Sunday didn't go so well. About 4 hours into the race, we dropped a valve on the motor, so we had to cut it short.
So what are the plans for the motor?
Well, we're debating between rebuilding the one we've got or maybe just doing an LS swap and going big time. So.
An LS swap.
LS swap makes
the
the world
BMW.
go round.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, the money works out about the same, so it's going to be interesting to see where we end up going with it. But we had a lot of fun this season. We went to a lot of fun tracks, had some great races and great times, and we're going to do it next year.
But that's what it's all about, though. It's the camaraderie and the fun that you guys have.
Right.
Yeah, kind of like us on our Saturday morning coffee clutch that we have here talking about cars.
Except we're not going 150 miles an hour down the back straight.
No, we're not. But we don't have that kind of money invested either, do we?
But we talk about it a lot.
We'll talk about it. We got people like John Rawson that can talk about it.
Plus, we drink after the show.
Yeah, there's drinking involved here. So, John, we talked to you today about your business over there on Richmond Avenue, ProAm Auto Accessories, and it's getting close to Christmas time. And, the nice thing, yes, we can buy so many things online these days, but it sure is nice to go into a store and actually look and shop, if you will. And, there aren't too many people around like you anymore that really focuses on the sport of driving. And I was hoping that you'd be able to give us a little tour of the store and maybe share some suggestions for your auto enthusiast, either husband or wife.
Thank you for having me back on again. Yeah, I'll be glad to take you around here on a little tour. If you don't mind, I'll turn the camera around.
That's fine.
So I can not trip over anything, and I'll show you. That's my 71 Beetle convertible. It's a long-term project. It's not, well, it is for sale for the right price, of course, but for right now, it's not for sale.
So what are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
I'm fully restoring it. It was a complete basket case when I bought it a while ago now, and the bodywork's all done. The paint obviously is all done. It's all fixed underneath. I really am. All that's left is the interior and the top and stuff.
I love
so
the wheels.
It'll run again.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
it's been a very, very long, and I just keep it in here in the showroom to show it off because it's a good conversation piece, and it keeps it from getting scratched up out in the shop. So
there you go. Yeah, that's good.
We can start over here. These are our seats.
Oh, we have seats. Yes, I love seats.
So we have a lot of nice seats from Corbeau, which is a very popular brand these days. These are sport seats that can go in anything from a sports car, a track car, a Jeep, a 4x4. They even make seats for UTVs, the little side-by-sides and stuff now. So
and office chairs.
Yeah, they look like good office chairs too.
Customer lounge, and you get to try the seat.
Yeah, we sell an office chair base to go with these if you would like. We can pretty much put any seat that you fancy onto an office chair base, so you can use it in your home office or your downtown office or wherever. So,
John, let me ask you, do you happen to have one there that'll fit my 2001 Corvette, and how much would that cost me?
Yes, we do. Actually, the seat that is on the office chair base is called the Corbeau A4. It's probably the most popular seat that we sell because it will fit the Corvettes, and it will also fit Miatas, Honda S2000s, all of the really narrow fit cars.
Right.
Like that. This is about the only seat that will go into those vehicles. But yeah, C5, C6 Corvettes, this is a very popular seat to put in those cars.
And does it come in different colors? Does it come in leather, cloth?
This one is a cloth one. You can't obviously see on the video probably very well, but this is a cloth seat. They are available in full black leather. They're available in a couple of other colors, red and blue, which honestly, those are not very popular. It's also available in a really nice micro suede material where the whole seat is upholstered. in micro suede, it's a really nice, that's my favorite. It looks great. It holds up great. It's a very, very nice seat.
What's the price range on that? What's the price range on that?
So an all-in price with 2 seats, brackets, and everything into a C5, C6, whatever, you're around $1,200 for 2 of these seats.
Bad.
So not too bad, actually.
That's a very well-known name brand as well, Corbeau.
Right. This is one of their newer seats here called an RRS. About $900 for a pair. These are actually done. This seat here is actually all black vinyl. You can get it with a couple of different options with some stitching colors and some. They do a diamond stitch on this one as well. That's really cool looking. These are great seats as well. Also, I don't think this would fit the C5 because I think it is a little bit wider than the A4, but it's really popular with a lot of cars.
It's more of a minivan.
Great seats.
Yeah.
There you go for your minivan.
Okay.
This is a Recaro racing seat we have in stock. Don't have any of their street car seats here at the moment, but this is always we're probably one of the oldest Recaro dealers in the country at this point, and so we know how to put these seats into race cars and street cars alike. And I even put 3 across the back of an ambulance one time that these guys wanted built for
That's cool.
a small town. A small town. Medical emergency first response team. It was a big Ford crew cab dually, and we had 2 Recaros in the front and 3 across the back. So,
hey, if they got the budget, you're willing to build it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can mosey along over here to our racer area. So this is all the fun stuff that we sell a lot of this time of year. We've got helmets. We've got some of the new SA 2020 helmets. This Race Quip right here is a brand new one. That's about $250. Pretty inexpensive entry-level helmet. Simpson helmets, G-Force helmets, shoes, and all kinds of stuff here. We've got suits, gloves, balaclavas. We can do socks. Pretty much anything you need to get on track like we were last weekend.
Yeah.
I can completely outfit, a driver or crewman or whatever. So we've got all that. We've got the expertise here. All of us that work here have been here for decades and know all this stuff, backwards and forwards. So pretty easy to get help here. If you don't know exactly what you need, we can obviously help you out in that respect, and help you get you on track safely. And
I noticed, John, that you've got a good selection of wheels there as well. How long does it take you to order a special set of wheels for, say, the Corvette?
Well, the Forge Stars, which that's what this one is here, these take 4 to 6 weeks typically, because they are built to order. You can choose the paint color and the offset, and they basically custom make those wheels for you. They run anywhere from, they start about $400, $450 a wheel and go up from there.
Right.
We obviously, that's more of a consultative sell as opposed to just a phone in and order kind of deal, but we can definitely take care of that.
Right.
We carry other wheels. My wheel display over here is not all that great, quite frankly. There's a lot of places in town that sell wheels, so it's really not one of our big focuses anymore, but we do carry wheels from American Racing and a few other Motegi Racing, a few other brands here as well.
So, did I see some brake covers over there right by those wheels? Did I see some of those?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Oh, yes. Let me show you right here. So that was a trophy that I got a long time ago. Right next to here is...
Is that the robot trophy or the Iron Man trophy?
From Chump Car. I don't know if you guys have talked
Chump
about
Car
much, but yeah, where is it? Okay, there it is. Yeah, that's our trophy we won. Looks kind of like the Terminator, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So I see the one that has Corvette on it. What is that? Tell me about those.
Yeah, these are MGP caliper covers. These help dress up the wheel well in your car. You just take the wheel off. They go on the brake. They just really clip onto the brake calipers.
I need that. And I know that you were looking for a Christmas gift for me, so just go ahead. Go ahead and throw that in the box.
Yeah, you can throw the seats in too.
Red,
right?
silver, yellow, blue.
Oh, Don needs the red to match his pumps.
That's right.
Yeah. And he needs a racing suit with sequins.
Yeah, these are about $250 a set front, for a four-piece set. They're really popular. We do a lot of these as well for all kinds of cars and trucks. So,
but it's a really
very
inexpensive way to dress up the car because looking into the wheel and you see the red caliper is kind of dressy.
Right. Yeah. If your car doesn't come with factory, Brembos or painted calipers or something like that, now you can kind of dress them up with these. They've been super popular for several years now.
Interesting. Okay.
Let's see. Let's see. These, another gift that's about $50, $60 are the wheel skins. If your car's steering wheel is starting to look terrible and shaggy, we can recover it with one of these really nice stitch-on steering wheel covers.
Not like one of those that
good.
you buy at Kmart.
No, these are probably as far as I know, these are the best you can buy in that category. I mean, these are very good, top quality leather. They always fit just right, and we install them here too. So if you don't want to spend the 45 minutes to an hour it takes to stitch one of these on yourself, we'll do it for you. I mean, we charge, of course, but yeah, we'll do it for you.
So those Tandy leather kits that I had when I was 8 or 10 years old, this doesn't compare to that.
With a little vinyl stitch thing, little string.
That's right.
Kind of go
Make a wallet that has Roy Rogers on it.
Yeah, Don ordered them off of J.C. Whitney.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Okay, so I'll show you. Can you see these now? These are the radar detectors that we carry. We carry Escort radar. Cobra is also part of Escort now, so those are basically the same company. We have all of their current detectors here, both the low end and the high end. They start about $299 and go up from there. The ones we've got here, the Red Line and the Dual Pro, those are about $350 to $500 a piece.
Not a bad price for what you get. If it saves you one ticket, it's paid for itself.
Yeah, exactly. The new Cobra Dual Pro 360, that's an excellent detector.
Now, how would you know that?
Field testing, of course.
Field testing.
He read the instructions.
Yeah, out there at the COTA event that he had last week.
On the way to and from.
Right.
There's what I want to see.
There you go. All right, so here's what I brought and showed you guys last year. These are called the Dipsters. These are your little stocking stuffers that are great for. These are $10. So
what are they?
That's
this
the
is a
dipstick
little
wiper.
Oh, the dipstick wiper.
Yeah, it's a dipstick wiping tool, so you never have to grab a paper towel. Can you see that? You just pop the cap off, wipe your dipstick clean, check your oil, and then put it back. It has a magnet in the base, so it'll stay in your
engine compartment.
It'll stay in your engine compartment, and
as long as you don't have a fiberglass car.
Oh,
well, yeah, there's some metal under there someplace.
No, I still use the one because you had given us one a couple of years ago, and I still use it.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a couple of 3-4 times.
I need to wipe my dipstick every once in a while, and that thing is just so handy.
This is going to go off the rails
real quick.
All right, let me turn around here and show you guys a few more little stocking stuffer things.
He's moving on.
Logo license plate frames. We've always had these. This has been just a consistent product over the years. About $30, $40 for these. These are stainless steel, laser engraved, so they stay looking good for a lifetime practically. And we've got them. We've even got, there you go, Don. Let's see, Corvette right there.
Oh yeah,
that's it. There you go.
So we've got a number of different makes and models represented here. So just another nice idea. Moving down the road here, we've got our car care area. We carry waxes and stuff from Class A. That's probably our most popular stuff. We've got Meguiar's, some other stuff.
I see some clay bar up there.
Yeah, clay bar. Am I going too? Am I panning too fast here? I don't know.
No, you're
good. You're good.
Okay. So yeah, we've got all kinds of fun stuff here to take care of your vehicle with, and these, anywhere from $7, $8 to $20, $25. You can find all kinds of stuff here. We've got microfiber towels, chamois.
Never have enough microfiber towels.
No.
Yeah, got plenty of it. Car covers, we can do those.
So any spouse that wants to get their partner some pretty cool car toy stuff, they need to come by ProAm.
Yep.
If they don't know if they don't know exactly what they want, you guys can kind of give them a budget, and John will coach you into what works.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got lots of stuff here, so plenty to choose from.
You know what I always liked for a Christmas gift was a wash bucket. Well, filled with some sort of car care,
thinking the same thing.
car care products, and maybe a nice set of brake caliper.
I did that for Kathy a few years ago.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the wash mitts hanging there on the wall.
Hey, I see some BG stuff up there.
Yeah, we've got some BG products. We're using more and more of that now.
Thank you.
On our vehicles in the back. So, yeah, fantastic stuff. We carry it. If somebody wants to buy it and take it with them, they're welcome to as well. So,
When are you open?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When are you open?
We are open from 8:30 in the morning until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
We're actually closed on the weekends right now. But yeah, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 6. We're at 6125 Richmond Avenue, which is the corner of Richmond and Green Ridge. It's between Fountain View and Hillcroft.
Yeah.
I've been here since the 1980s.
I was just going to say the 1960s, I think.
Oh,
No, not quite that old. 1984 is when the shop opened up.
Really?
I was just a wee pup back then.
Yeah. Well, weren't we all?
If I could add something to this,
Yeah.
back.
I'll show you what we got out here in the shop real quick.
Yes.
So this
oh,
is
there we go.
There you go.
that a 70?
71.
71, yeah, Malibu.
Fun car.
What are you doing to that?
So believe it or not, this is actually owned by the original owner.
Wow, how cool is that?
His father bought it new in 71, and it got passed down to him a few years ago, and mostly it sat in his garage. He drove it to high school back in the 80s.
Of course.
And we're just trying to get her going back for him. It runs right now a little bit. It needs pretty much going through. So I'm going to work on the heater core next week and pull all that stuff out from under the dash, which should be fun.
Hey, a 71 with Krager SSs. That's the
Original.
the typical
this
car.
Is
Red, no less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got back there, John?
This is about it for interesting vehicles.
You just don't want to show us the other ones that are back
Top
there.
secret.
I got a roll cage in. We're going to be doing a roll cage install into a guy's BMW probably in the upcoming weeks. He's turning his street car into a full-on track car, so we're going to be doing that.
Hey, maybe you can get some extra parts from him to fix yours.
Yeah, where's the LS swap?
Yeah, maybe so. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to see in the shop, unfortunately.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're doing roll cage installation there, you've got some talented welders, because that is not an easy task to do, and you got to do it right to make it work.
Yeah, we've done a few. We don't do them all the time, but yeah, it's something that we can do around here. So.
Very cool.
Well, John, it's great. It's great to get a tour of the shop. We really appreciate it, and you taking the time coming in with us this morning. And we're sorry to hear about your motor implosion last weekend at Circuit of the Americas. But hey, them's the roll of the dice, my friend.
Sometimes you need to get kicked in the butt to get further down the road. So that's where we're gonna. That's what we're gonna do.
Speaking of which, John, I'm looking at the VW there. It'd be a really cool roadster.
Well, I thought about that, just leaving the top off.
Yeah.
Completely, maybe making some sort of little shell or something to.
I'm thinking about putting an LS back there in the back end.
Get an old Toronado powertrain and stuff an LS in front of it.
Put some Recaro seats.
Good gosh, you guys.
I know.
We'll help you out, John, any way we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, come on down. Advice is free, right?
We're a think group.
Yeah, and worth all you pay for it.
Yep, we are definitely a thinking group.
Right.
John Rawson, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in today and talking to us. That's a ProAm Auto Accessories down on Richmond here in Houston, Texas. We'll talk to you soon. Merry Christmas.
Great. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you guys.
Thank you. All right, time now for our car review. It's really not a car. This is a major SUV. Last week I did the Ford Expedition. Well, this week I had a chance to drive the 2020 Ford Expedition Max.
The extended wheelbase.
Yes, and it is basically another foot longer than the regular Expedition. It's about $5,000 more. But I think that if I'm going to spend this kind of money, I'm going to spend the extra $5,000 and get the Max version, because not only is it a 3-row, but if you get the Max version, now you've got all that extra room back in the back to pack the entire 6-person family's luggage back there and take it on a major road trip. And road trips are in right now.
Well, originally Expedition was Tahoe sized. And the Max they came out with to compete at the suburban level of SUVs.
Yeah, yeah, and this is really the cat's meow, the bomb.com. You can't say bomb on an airplane. Bomb, 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 bomb. Anyway, available trim levels are the XLT, the Limited, the King Ranch, and the Platinum. This Expedition Max happened to be the Platinum.
Of course.
What size? What class? Well, it's called a standard-sized SUV. Now, the regular size, that's what they call it. It's a standard SUV. The regular size is 17.5 feet long. The Max is 18.5 feet long. How many passengers? 7. All new in 2018. So, with that in mind, I will tell you that this is a good-looking SUV,
Yeah, it is. It looks-
straightforward-looking, canted grille, straight body lines, big logos on the front fenders and tailgate, larger 22-inch wheels with adaptive suspension. I really like the appealing conservative design.
Well, and it's not just an F-150 with a big passenger
No, it's
compartment on it. You can look at this and see that it's a different truck.
It is. Yeah, most definitely. What I really liked is the fold-down side steps on it. You open the door, down comes the side steps. What could use improvement? Does anybody use roof racks anymore? I said this last week.
Well, Jeff's Honda Odyssey had a roof rack on it because he's a tool.
Well, the 1,000 horsepower Honda had one. Yeah.
That's it.
Thule.
Thank you.
Thule.
Interior highlights: plush, embroidered interior, leather everything, knob shifter on the center console instead of the column shifter. You can see it right there. Passive phone charger, which is very convenient. I think all vehicles should have that.
I don't know why they don't do that on everything.
Well, because there's not enough room, or they don't make enough room on there for those great big phones like I've got. Sync 3 infotainment system works very well. Cargo trunk room, well, as I mentioned, there's plenty of room with this Max version, but you fold down that third row seat and it's like a minivan back there. What I liked about it, the high comfort level. This is a high comfort level vehicle all the way. It really is a sweet ride. 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6 at 375 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque.
That's enough.
Tow rating up to 9,300 pounds for the tow rating with the tow package.
Wow.
Regular is 6,600 without the tow package. So if you're going to carry the camper, whatever it is that you're going to tow behind there, you might want to get the tow package. That would probably be a good thing. Mileage, it's rated at 17 city, 23 highway for a combined of 19. I got 19 over 286 miles. Plenty of power for this V6. Didn't tow anything, but I've got a feeling that it does
You can
just fine.
stuff so much stuff in it, you might not need to tow anything unless you got a boat.
Right. What I liked, smooth ride, especially from this long wheelbase. I mean, this thing rides like a limousine. It does have adaptive shocks on it. It really is a sweet ride. Base trim price on this particular vehicle.
The Platinum version.
The Platinum version. Well, actually, let's do this. The base model price, $54,720. Price is tested. $84,065.
Yeah, but that's in the market.
It's the top of the line, loaded with everything on it.
18.5 feet long. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Trust me, anybody in the parking lot will know you're coming down the road.
Well, the other thing about this is the twin turbo V6 is the only engine available. There is no V8 available on this platform.
Right.
The EcoBoost twin turbo is the base engine and the only engine.
Well, the other thing is, as far as competitors are concerned, GMC Yukon, Toyota Land Cruiser, Lincoln Navigator. Only the Navigator comes close. This Max version is big with that extra foot in it. So that's the review of the 2020 Ford Expedition. Don't forget to sign in and give us an email at info@inwheeltime.com. We're going to pick a couple of winners for two $40 gift certificates to the Black Bear Diner. Okay? And we're going to email that out, and we're going to mail it to you, snail mail to it this week. Because you got to use them before the end of the year, and this would be a great way to take the family out or whatever on a Friday or Saturday night, whenever you want, really.
You can get it to go. You can pick up something and bring it home if you want.
You could do that too. So Black Bear Restaurants, diners, and there's a couple of them in town. One of them out here in Sugar Land and the other one off of the Katy Freeway. So there you go, Black Bear Diners. info@inwheeltime.com. All you have to do is give us your name, somehow way to get a hold of you.
Phone number,
Yeah.
address.
So we can get your address and we can get these in the mail to
And
you
we
tomorrow.
promise Don won't write your phone number in a bathroom wall somewhere.
I promise.
Yeah, he's too busy writing his own.
There's that.
Just saying.
In his sequin racing suit.
Busted. We got more of the In-Wheel Time Car Show coming up after this.
Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers.
Are you getting any traffic?
Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy a Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, December 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one place. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a 3-hour friends and family event. The Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, December 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Loopy's in Katy. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there too, and you're invited to join us. We'll see you there. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In-Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In-Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com.
This is the award-winning Car Talk Show, In-Wheel Time, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on this Saturday. And if you haven't heard, we're giving away gift certificates to the Black Bear Diners. We're going to give
Two $40 gift certificates.
2 4s.
So shoot us an email with your name and a way to get a hold of you, and we're going to pick a couple of winners in the next hour, and we're going to announce them here, and we're going to get these in the mail to you so you can enjoy them over the Christmas holidays. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and read this because it kind of is a nice little intro that's already written for me, so why not? So with days getting shorter, nights getting longer, many drivers will find themselves on dark roads, limited visibility more often in the coming months. According to the National Safety Council, fatal accidents are 3 times more likely to happen at night. I did not know that.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me.
Now, joining us via Zoom is a fellow by the name of Greg Bibbo. Greg, good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, gentlemen.
And I have to tell you that the lighting there is very good, and I'm sure that you had a lot to do with that.
Look, we're all about the lighting. They're going to kick me out of the company if I don't at least have some decent lighting with me.
Yeah, well, it's great. He's with Sylvania, and they've got a campaign going, Headlight Savings Campaign. Explain to me what that means, Headlight Savings Campaign.
Headlight savings time. We're basically making a bit of a play off of daylight savings time. Because
Gotcha.
Right around the time that you're turning your clocks back is when people are driving more in the dark. They're driving to and from work in the dark. They're driving around to get Christmas presents in the dark, and you put about 2/3 of your burn time on your headlights from October to March. So,
Wow.
It's important safety equipment, just like tires, brakes, and wipers. And we created the campaign to keep the awareness up because people don't realize that their headlights dim over time.
Well, I have to tell you that there are a couple of things that come to mind. First of all, there are a lot of people that don't use the automatic feature on their headlight switches anymore. And, on the interior, you really can't tell one way or the other unless you actually look for the little icon on the dashboard whether or not the headlights are on. I can't tell you how many people that I see going down the freeway, no tail lights, and you get ahead of them, and there's really only thing that's on is the daytime running lights. They've got the lights off.
Saw some last night.
Yeah, and that's a major problem, for one. Number two is I don't see it as much today as I did a few years back, but foggy headlamp covers, the plastic ones that really, when they first started putting them on headlights, they were just terrible, and they would get foggy or turn yellow and really dim your forward visibility.
Yeah, look at any mid 80s Mustang, and they all have cataracts, which the bulb behind it may be great, but it's all being so diffused trying to go through the plastic cover.
So what do you
cataract?
Yeah, exactly. So what do you suggest for that? We're going to get to the bulbs in a minute, but let's face it, that is a major problem, and it really dates your car and makes it look old. As a matter of fact, I found some actual full headlights. They were Chinese made for my daughter's old car, and man, I put those things that were cheap to buy, and I put them on there, and it made a world of difference, made the car look brand new. But what I also did was I put some high intensity bulbs in there actually they were Sylvania bulbs. They cost me a little bit more, but I didn't have to do any LED conversions or anything like that. So let's kind of go in that direction if you don't mind. So how do you suggest that we deal with those problems?
Well, I mean, you touched on quite a few there. That it's not just a cosmetic issue you're looking at. When you see a hazy lens, and the analogy of cataracts was spot on, because it's not just cosmetic. It's greatly reducing the amount of light that's getting out on the road, and it's defocusing it in many cases. Right. So you lost your beam pattern, you lost how far it goes down the road. We make an excellent kit that will get that it'll get that haze off. More importantly, though, it will also restore the UV blocking protectant that was on the lens in the first place. Basically, a brand new vehicle coming off of the factory has a baked-on UV hard coat that protects the plastic. Over time, that wears off, and the plastic underneath is really susceptible to UV damage from the sun. So I'd say there's a great start. If you've got a hazy lens, you want to get that better. But then also there are so many options to upgrade to a better performing bulb than the one that was in your vehicle to start with. The bulbs that come on a new car are optimized for life as much as they are for performance. So you could take a brand new car and go to your favorite auto parts store, and there's a lot of choices that you can have at different levels of price and performance that can give you a much further radar screen.
So do me a favor and explain that, because when you go and look at even the Sylvania product there, they have like different what I'm going to call K ratings of the bulb. So tell us what those K ratings mean.
Okay. I mean, in simple terms on lighting products, you can have brightness, you can have whiteness, and you can have life. You can't have all three at once on a traditional bulb. But basically, as you're walking into a store, in general terms, as you're walking up the price ladder, you're going to get more brightness, more whiteness, and the two of those things together, and this is where you talk about the K rating. K rating is basically a measurement of how white a light source is. Okay. So a OEM halogen bulb is around 3,200 Kelvin, and that is it's a yellowish, whitish light.
Kind of an amber as it lays out.
Yes. As you go to a brand new car with LEDs on it, that's 6,000 Kelvin.
Okay.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah. It's a very huge difference. Now, granted, on a halogen bulb, you can get up towards 4,300 Kelvin, but to do that, it also detracts from the life of the product.
Because it takes so much more power that you're burning the inside filament to create that much brightness.
Exactly. And, oftentimes when you talk to consumers and you say brighter, as many people that are interested in brighter are also saying, hey, I don't want that glare on the road, because there's a fair number of, like you'd mentioned, LED conversion kits, which aren't DOT legal for the road, that don't couple with the reflector the way the original bulb did. And the driver might really enjoy the driving experience, but they essentially turn their low beam into a high beam.
Right.
And now all the oncoming traffic's got a lot of glare in their eyes.
You've got everybody ticked off at you.
Right.
What's the difference between
Whereas
Kelvins
with
and lumens?
with a street legal halogen replacement, any of our Sylvania products that are sold in retail outlets, they're 100% designed the same way as the bulb that was in the car in the first place. They couple with the reflector the right way. Consequently, you're getting a better driving experience, but you're not doing that at the expense of oncoming traffic.
What's the difference between Kelvins and lumens, and where can I buy that kit you talked about?
What's the difference between kelvins as a measurement and lumens as a measurement?
Okay. Lumens is brightness. Lumens is brightness. Kelvin is whiteness.
Okay.
And it's it's unfortunate. There's a fair amount of misinformation. The Kelvin rating doesn't uniquely define color. I mean, we could get into this deep physics discussion that's far beyond what any of us want to do.
We're not that smart.
Yeah.
We're not that smart.
So I mean, like, just in simple terms, 6,000 Kelvin is really reserved for LED. You can't get to that kind of temperature with a halogen or an HID light source. So your traditional light sources stay around 4,000 Kelvin, maybe a little more, for them to still be legal and white. But they're still a much better driving experience than the original bulb that was in the car in the first place.
So when you're talking like 6,000 Kelvin, is that the ones that kind of come off blue as they're coming at you?
Not necessarily blue, but like a brand new vehicle with designed in LED. I'll call it a crisp white light. If you see something coming at you that looks blue, it's not white. It's not correct, and likely it's a conversion kit that is
illegal,
not compliant.
Right.
Exactly. And there's a lot of that illegal product on the road today, and it's a fair amount of what consumers are complaining about.
Right.
Well, I took my 2001 Corvette from the standard light bulb to the top of the line Sylvania for that car. I don't know what it was. I don't know the name of it, but I know it was relatively expensive, and I think I bought it at Walmart or something like that. But they had a whole array of different levels, price levels, and different. And so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Totally.
Did I do myself a favor?
You did, because like I said, people know that their tires wear out. They know that their brakes do, or at least their mechanic will tell them, hey, you've got 10 thousandths left of brake pad time to change them. Your oil, although you can't as a layman, say, okay, my oil's bad, but you've got the sticker on the left-hand side of your windshield to tell you. Bulbs, 80% of the people wait until they burn out to do something, and what they don't realize is that they've lost about 50 feet of visibility down the road.
I did not know that.
Yeah. As the bulb
No,
ages.
and that's a tractor trailer. I mean, it's not the whole tractor trailer, but a typical trailer is 53 feet.
Yeah,
so it's a lot of distance.
It's
But when you're
75
talking-
miles an hour. That's not very far.
Yeah, when you're talking reaction time, that extra 50 feet gives you a better reaction time.
Absolutely. My boss often says, all accidents happen in the last 15 feet. And, 50 feet gives you a lot more reaction time, to your point. And, you can't react to what you can't see. So going into the store and upgrading to a better bulb is absolutely a fundamentally great thing to do. It doesn't matter whether you're driving in the city or you're driving in the country. There's always something at night that you need to avoid.
How often should you change bulbs?
And then there's the wild card question, because there are so many different part numbers that go in vehicles. They don't all have the same standard burn time, and then we all drive. Our habits of driving are completely different. So,
right.
Plus, there's not a really good way. There's no good way for either the mechanic or the consumer to go, hey, wait a minute, my bulb's got 80% of the life off of it.
There's really no tests to do.
No. So what we the tests that we do is a $100,000 piece of equipment in a laboratory that's super ridiculous to calibrate and all that. So what we tell people is, if you can't remember the last time you've changed your bulbs, if you had that vehicle for 2 years plus or more, if you're a high mileage driver, it's just a good thing to do. And especially, I mean, I'm talking to you from Hillsborough, New Hampshire. And so if you're in a winter nasty climate, the northern tier of the US, do it before the snowstorms. Do it while it's still warm out.
And we've talked about headlights, but Sylvania also sells a full range of tail lights, turn signal lights, fog lights, interior dash lights, and everything else. So what you're talking about, these bulbs wearing out over time, all of those bulbs are suspect for wearing out.
Absolutely. And, hey, we've all been in project mode since COVID hit, right? So, I think people are probably running out of things to do. They've been through 3 pages of the project list. There's so many sockets on a vehicle that you could safely upgrade to LED. Most of the brand new cars, even brand new ones, at least 60% of the sockets inside the vehicle aren't LED. And it'd be an easy, simple upgrade. You don't need much in the way of tools to get to them. And also the ones on the outside of the vehicle. Like you said, if you can't remember the last time you replaced them, it's usually an easy upgrade, and for the layman, it's one of the few things you can still do on a vehicle.
Well, here's my turn signal story that I had to deal with in the Corvette. Of course, it's sitting on the ground pretty much, but I had a turn signal bulb go out, and it was an amber one in the front. Okay, so I go up there and I finagle my way to get my hand up there where the bulb is, undo the screw-in thing, pull the bulb out, go to pull the actual bulb out of the socket, and the bulb glass just shatters in my hand. I didn't realize.
And the socket stays in.
Yeah. So I had to get some needle nose to pull the thing out of there. But I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with what you're talking about. The car is 20 years old. And so that, as I'm sure, is an original bulb that was in there. It was a pain in the butt to get up to it, but I finally did. But I didn't realize that those bulbs become so brittle after so many years. The car only has 20,000 miles on it, so it's not that.
Yeah, but it's time.
It's the age.
Yeah, it's the age. So this goes hand in hand with what you're talking about. They kind of age out, if you will.
But like
Absolutely.
you say.
So it's active safety equipment, just like brakes and tires.
Well, and then Sylvania is also engaged at the manufacturer's level, be it General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, whomever it is. So you guys have a little bit of view of what's coming in the future as well. Anything you want to tell us?
We do. I mean, we're in sleepy little Hillsborough, New Hampshire. We have the last automotive lighting manufacturing facility for the OEM market. So we're making lights for all the vehicles every day, not just for the replacement market, but for the new car market. Right. And I mean, you see and probably talk on this show a lot about all of the latest and greatest technology. I mean, and it's amazing when you get a new vehicle between, lane departure warnings, adaptive cruise control, our lighting. There's some incredible technology today where it's not just a great LED light source, but it's linked with servos. So when you turn the wheel, the lights turn with you, or when you really turn far, an additional light will come on to do more light onto the periphery. So there's, I feel like all the seeds of autonomous driving are being evaluated and refined today on new vehicles.
Well, I have to tell you that there was a time several years ago. You might have been with me, Mr. Mars. Ford invited us up to Dearborn, Michigan, and because there were so many journalists there, they offered us to sign up for a factory tour or things like the interior department where they design interiors. But there was one in particular that they offered us that we went to the lighting department at the Ford Motor Company. And it's this great big huge warehouse that's pitch black, and it's where they test all of their lighting engineering. And it was really fascinating to see. And I know that you guys obviously have a similar facility. You have to.
We do, and oftentimes our engineers are working hand in hand with theirs when they're in the embryo stages of designing the front end of a vehicle. So we'll do all kinds of very sophisticated modeling of our light sources combined with what they're trying to do with the front end, because your lighting often is the jewelry of the vehicle at night. Very much. And in many cases, you can tell the manufacturer of the vehicle from 300-400 feet away as it's coming at you. That's this kind of vehicle or that kind. And so they're constantly trying to differentiate. while still making a safe and high performance of a light source for people.
Greg, where can we go to find out more information that Sylvania has about automotive lighting and consumer education?
You can find all that on our website, sylvaniaautomotive.com. If you don't remember that, Sylvania Automotive on a Google search. But yes, we're constantly updating everything on our website in terms of what's new, how to evaluate your products, how to install them, what the better features and benefits are. And then we now have a whole new section of other safety-related products that came from ideas in the OEM market, like a dash cam that will allow you to be safer on the road, record what's going on, but then it also has features like lane departure and and backup assist. So something for everybody on our website.
Greg, it's been great to talk to you. Been
real educational. Thank you very much.
It truly has been. And thanks so much for taking the time out of your Saturday to talk to us. Let's stay in touch. Please, anytime you got anything you want to talk to us about, be sure and get a hold of us.
We put your link up on our Facebook page.
All right. My pleasure, gentlemen. I really enjoyed the time, and enjoy your Saturday.
You do the same. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you again soon. Greg Bigbo, he is with Sylvania. Great interview there. All right. Again, we're giving away two $40 Black Bear Diner gift certificates. And if you'd like to put your name in the hat, please shoot us an email, info@inwheeltime.com.
Larry Galla also told us there is a third location in Houston, and that is at I-45 in Ritchie.
Okay.
So it's Katy, Missouri City, and North Houston.
Okay. Well,
thanks, Larry.
Thank you, Larry. Good to hear from him. You know, he's a well-known jock in this town, and he works at the station up in Conroe.
Oh,
wonderful!
okay.
He's
That's
been
cool.
for a long time.
Right.
I have a
Is
Larry
he
Galla.
also, like you, a member of the Broadcasting Hall of Fame?
I don't know about that, but
Soon
he
will
should be.
now that we've mentioned him on the show.
I have. Remind me to tell you a story about him.
Oh, boy. Larry, that's going to cost you money, so we don't tell it on the air.
There goes his career.
Yeah. It goes back to the Astrodome days and going to a baseball game with him and Buddy Cantu, and me having
been overserved
popcorn incident into his hair.
Oh boy,
it was a fun time, and thank you, Larry, for all that you do, and still dare email me or whatever the case.
Is this a long story? I got to be at work Monday.
No, it's not.
All right. George Skelton said the last interview was enlightening.
Thank you, George.
Yeah, and a lot of times their research and development department is in the dark.
Oh, gosh.
All right, time now for This Week in Auto History. Conrad enlightens us with that.
Well, there's all kinds of stuff going on, and we try and give you a little wide range of it. In 1915, and
I remember it well.
I'm sure you will. The 1 millionth Ford Model T was produced this week. So, you think there was actually 15 million Ford Model Ts produced over time. In 1921, a young engineer at General Motors discovers that when he adds a compound called tetraethyl lead to gasoline,
oh boy,
it eliminated the unpleasant noises known as knock or pinging to the internal combustion engine. So he could hardly have imagined that years later, after more than 5 decades of the oil companies would saturate the gasoline they sold with lead to find out that it was a deadly poison. Thank you, General Motors. I used to work for them, so I can say that.
Oh boy.
In 1931...
with a scowl on his face.
In 1931, the final Ford Model A was produced.
That's a cool-looking car.
Yeah, very, very cool-looking car. And then in 1945... I think I've got a coupe version of the Model A is going to show up here in a second.
No minivans?
No, they didn't do a minivan, but they did that, and that's pretty cool. And you see
like
a lot
the color.
of those. Yeah, you see a lot of those without the roof on and without the fenders on as well. In 1945, Toyota received permission from the American occupation government to start production of buses and trucks necessary to keep Japan running. It was the first production in post-war Japan after World War II.
Nice.
In 1951, Parking Services Incorporated opened the first push-button controlled Park-O-Matic, kind of like an automat, where you loaded the car in an elevator and it went up and parked the car. It didn't, there weren't any ramps or anything, and that has since evolved. And you see even more of that. That happens to be an Oldsmobile, by the way.
Oh boy!
You notice I always find the Oldsmobile in the story.
I find the Cadillacs.
But you'll see, they still use this technology in other places around the world, where the car basically goes up like what's the car vending
Carvana.
machine? Carvana. Well, they may park 500 or 600 cars in some of these. In some of these, where in the new technology is the elevator goes up the middle and it swings around and parks the car. In areas that are pretty tight for space, you just go vertical, and here you go. It's kind of like parking in an old mailbox system inside an apartment complex.
So that elevator does go all the way to the top.
The elevator does go all the way to the top. In 1955, the federal government standardized license plates throughout the United States. You can see all of these behind us here. Don has absconded through the years. So all states have the same size.
I thought that was his homework.
That was his homework. So, previous to that, everybody had different sizes and shapes. And also in 1955, Volkswagen trademarked or registered the trademark of Volkswagen and this VW symbol, which has since evolved into a few other colors, but not the shape has stayed the same since the inception. In 1963, the last American-made Studebaker was produced, and that Studebaker was produced in their factory in South Bend, Indiana, and it was this Lark here. But Studebaker production...
God, that was an ugly car.
I remember the Lark.
But Studebaker production continued in Canada for 3 more years. I did not realize that. So that was something I learned. In 1965, Chevrolet produced its 3 millionth car for the year, Chevy Impala.
For the year?
For the year.
65
so
Impala.
they made 3 million Chevrolets in 1965.
Wow.
That was
is
one of the
awesome.
cars I wish I'd have kept. I have one, a two-door.
In 1970, Lee Iacocca became the president of Ford Motor Company as the president. But you got to remember, Lee Iacocca joined Ford as an engineer back in the 40s and was quickly part of the team that brought together the Mustang. And then in 1977, the Plymouth Horizon was introduced this day. It was the first American-made small car with front-wheel drive. And it left such a wonderful legacy. Nobody knows anything about it anymore. That's this week in automotive history.
A lot happened this week.
I had told you earlier that I took Mom's Buick down to drop off Stan the Man down in the 3rd Ward on one Saturday back when I was in high school, and you were talking about license plates, and there is that license plate that was attached to that car right up there. PBR 318 1970. Yep, that one right there.
White back and blue letters.
So that was down there at the wine-a-thon that Stan the Man.
The trunk or treat.
The trunk or treat, yeah.
The alcohol drive-through.
There was that. All right, time now for a couple stories making auto news headlines this week. Kia Motors said last week, it's recalling 295,000 more U.S. vehicles for engine fire or thermal events. Automakers said the recall covers 2012 to 13 model Sorrentos, 12 to 15 model Forte and Forte Coupes, 11 to 13 Optima Hybrids, 14 to 15 Souls, and 2012 Sportage vehicles because...
So pretty much everything they made through those years.
Pretty much, yeah. By the way, they've been fined. Civil penalty totaled $70 million, including an upfront payment of $27 million to your government. Requirements to spend another $16 million on specified safety measures and a potential $27 million deferred penalty.
I wonder what happens to all that fine money. This is the 10th year anniversary of the first U.S. Leaf or U.S. sold Leaf on the Nissan product.
No, I did not know
The fully electric Leaf.
Yeah.
Been in the market for 10 years.
Jeff did our pre-owned model of the week, and it was a Honda minivan. Well, Honda is moving beyond an aggressive expansion of its certified pre-owned vehicle business by launching an updated sales website that now lists non-certified used vehicles up to 10 years old.
Wow.
American Honda is using HondaCertified.com for the non-CPO listings. The updated web portal launched on Monday. And that, I would imagine, will change the industry, and everybody will be putting on all of their used cars. You can buy a CPO or a certified pre-owned or a non-certified pre-owned.
There you go.
And we'll end this segment with there's enough consumer demand for manufacturers to ramp up output of new models, but not enough supply, according to Ally CEO Jeffrey Brown. He told investors that this week. Ally Financial, one of the largest U.S. auto lenders, said car makers should get busy. Automakers have been stretched thin by pandemic-related absenteeism, distancing protocols, quarantines, and supply chain constraints. All this combined with the 2-month shutdown this spring to contain COVID-19 has made it difficult for factories to match the rebound in consumer demand for new vehicles, driven by low interest rates and a shift toward private transportation.
And, you know, Ally's been the sponsor of Jimmy Johnson's NASCAR, and since Johnson retired from NASCAR, he's going to go race sports prototype cars, and Ally's going to go and sponsor him in the IMSA series as he drives a Cadillac
There you go.
DPI
There you go.
All right.
car in IMSA, 24 hours at Daytona.
That's it. Go ahead.
He also tested open wheel as well, Formula.
Yeah, no, he's going to run for Ganassi in
All right,
Indy.
that's
Indy
it for
cars.
this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Show. We've got our next segment coming right up after a quick break. Stay with us.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy a Lupi Tortilla breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, December 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one place. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a 3-hour friends and family event. The Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, December 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too, and you're invited to join us. We'll see you there. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com.
From Studio A in Texas, USA, it's the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Show. Just ahead, our car of the week, the Infiniti QX50. We'll give you an in-depth review. We got a couple of special guests we think you'll really enjoy. Going to talk about Christmas gifts first up. We'll also get this week's automotive news, Conrad's Car Clinic, and more. Just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, December 12th, 2020. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin off camera over there. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us. And we're going to continue our Christmas gift-giving theme that we started last hour with our buddy down at ProAm Auto Accessories.
John Ross.
Yeah.
Yep, John Ross.
Don't even give me time to say the word. Just kind
Sounded
of
like
fill
you were
in the
struggling
blank.
to find it.
It's because he doesn't
Yeah.
get a chance to talk at home, so he's got to talk here.
Yeah, fill in the blank, Don Armstrong. All right, well, so we're going to continue that theme, and now we're going to go up to Magnolia, Texas, and we are going to talk...
Sweet Magnolia.
Sweet Magnolia, and we are going to talk to Larry Baldwin. He is with Texas Truck Works. Hi, Larry. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, it's good to see you, man. How have you been?
Boss, just staying busy.
Are you staying busy up there? Well, that's a good thing. I'm glad to hear that. So I thought that we would shift gears because last hour we were kind of more along the lines of racing, competitive,
Sports cars,
seats, helmets.
So I thought we'd turn our attention to trucks this hour and talk to you about some Christmas gift-giving ideas that Texas Truck Works has in mind for the truck owner. And I thought maybe perhaps that we could talk about, price and item gifts going from not a lot of investment to a significant investment for your loved one or family member or somebody you know.
Oh, we've got really all of it. Whether you're stuck in the mud, we can help you get out of that.
Big dog
help
hook.
Get in a Jeep.
Yeah. What is those toe straps down there?
That's toe straps down there on the bottom, and then right above it's grab bars to get in your Jeep.
Nice. Do you have a lot of Jeep accessories and products?
We've got a lot available that we can get with, just a little bit of notice. Then it's just unbelievable how many objects. What we keep in stock is limited.
Yeah, but the Jeep people are always looking to accessorize their Jeep to make it look like theirs. Oh my gosh, look at those mud grips! Mm-hmm. Holy moly!
So tell me about those. Do you? I can't imagine going down the freeway on a set of those.
You don't want to go to the corner store on those. But if you want to go get to the backwoods, they'll get you there.
Yeah. So tell me what those are. Let's go back to those for a second, because you guys handle all sorts of tires and you can get them pretty quickly, can't you?
Yeah, that is a new Kryptonite. That's a 40-inch tall tire on a 17-inch wheel.
See, I just like the look. I mean, that's awesome.
To give you a comparison, there's another 40 right behind it that if you do want one to drive on the street, or if you want one to definitely stay off the street, both are available.
Yeah. And can you get those, like, if I brought the truck up there to you on Monday morning, could you have those tires for me the next day?
On these 40s, I've got a set here waiting for somebody.
Oh, he's got them in stock. I love it. Okay. All right. And I guess that you've got all of the major offsets for the domestic brands in particular?
All the different offsets from the stock leveling kit up to the 10, 12s monster lifts.
And a 40-inch tire, be it on a full-size truck or a Jeep Wrangler, is going to require a lift as well, correct?
It's going to require a big lift.
Yeah. And I know that you guys...
For your everyday driver, that is not what is recommended.
Right, of course.
That is more for your toy or show truck.
And we'll talk about your stuff that you got there back in the shop and what y'all can do. But let's get through the front of the store first and talk about some more Christmas gifts.
But like I say, like license plates, brackets, toe loops, jack bases. Anybody that has a JKJL, this jack base is the best thing ever because now you can still use your OEM jack. You don't have to have an aftermarket jack for your lifted truck.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because it kind of steps it up.
That's right. Basically it's a very nice 4x4. Just set your bottle jack on.
Interesting. Okay.
Again, there's the trucks for the toys for the kids.
Well, everybody needs toys for the kids. You got to keep them occupied while you're out.
Hey, we got the stockings. We got to stuff.
Got clothes. So you have
T-shirts, shirts, work shirts. Coming around to the next aisle.
And more T-shirts, shirts, and work shirts. Hats.
Lots of hats. More toys for the kids. Lift kits. Just showing some of the components used in different lift kits.
And you guys are pretty much located just a little bit south of 2978 and 1488, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we're basically at the back of the Woodlands.
So everybody in the Woodlands, go over there and buy something.
Right. Now, this Air It Up is a pretty cool thing for the Jeep people in that it is a little setup that you put with a compressor under the hood that allows you to air up or down all four tires at one time.
So if you're going to do a little rock climbing and you want to lower the tire pressure, you can raise the tire, you could fix it before you get back on the road and drive home.
Get it back on the road, right. You're just carrying your compressor and your system with you.
Oh, that's pretty smart. And what does that run?
There's different options, but installed, you're probably around $1,000 with compressor.
Wow, that's
But that includes labor.
Yeah, that includes the install.
Yes, that's with labor.
But if you're doing a lot of rock climbing, that's probably a good investment.
It's a very good investment. Yes, sir.
It's cheaper than a trailer.
Yep. And again, stereos, if you want stereos, they have come out with some amazing aftermarket product that do a whole lot more than just play music for you anymore.
Yeah, that looks like a center stack from the factory.
Yes. But again, it's got your light switches built into it. It's got off-road navigation to help you follow your trail and find your way back home.
Wow.
What do you do? I mean, do you pull out the old radio and that just fits in the slot in the dash?
It does.
Well, I didn't know that they made something like that.
Not
cool.
that kind of upgrade.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
does it kind of hang outside the front of the dash where the hole was and kind of brings
No, it fits in flush. It looks very, very factory when it's installed, other than so much larger.
So it's designed specifically for that year, make, model dash component.
Yes.
Okay.
Who
And
makes
this
that?
is really a Jeep specific with all the trail features.
Who makes that?
Alpine.
Alpine.
Well, they're one of the industry's best.
Yeah.
You know, if anybody knows how to do it right, they would.
That's one of the things I miss on my truck, my 2015. It's got the Uconnect, but it's the Gen 3. And it doesn't have Apple CarPlay or anything like that. And I miss that. You know, and that might be a way to upgrade it.
Yeah. No, they've got
Oh, that's cool.
some amazing things in stereos anymore.
Well, and and stereos have kind of gone through an evolution as well, because you know, back in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s.
Dating yourself.
Well, but stereos all kind of fit
Nobody
the
else
same
will.
thing. And then when they went with this integrated stereo to the onboard computer body modules and stuff, aftermarket stereos kind of had to stand back a little bit until they learned how to do it correctly. And clearly, Alpine has learned how to do it correctly with the full integration.
So, Larry, is that just a kind of a plug and play that you can actually take the old one out, put the new one in, and just plug it in, or do you have to chop into the wires?
It's 95% plug and play. There is a little bit depending on what extras you add with it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Right.
Because one of the coolest features I like is for the Jeeper, you can control all of your lights. So you got switches built into the radio to turn your 50-inch light bars on, or fog lights, or whatever lights you run
I
up front.
see. Yeah, sure.
Or rock lights.
Wow.
Well, that makes sense, and that's a nice option to have. You got any ashtrays up there?
Nope. Ashtrays.
You know, that's not politically correct anymore. So,
Yeah, ain't that
no.
the
Well, leave it to me to be not politically correct.
I'm looking for a gun rack.
Those are in the other side of the building.
I bet they are in the safe. I got it. Yeah,
We're more family friendly.
gotcha.
We got the puppies and Santa.
Very nice. Very nice. Is Scott Stevens watching this?
I don't know if he's watching or not.
He ought to be.
Yeah.
He should.
He should be.
Here working.
Oh, I love
Since he's
the
boss, he has that choice.
I love the camo Santa. That's just
Yep. Okay, and then this is probably one of our best sellers for trucks is the bed covers.
Oh, that's
Fold
what
up.
that is.
Yeah, fold up.
Oh, yeah. So, what is the most popular one that you sell? You like a trifold?
The trifold, the backflip MX4 is our best seller.
That one there that you're showing us.
That one I'm looking at right there.
Yeah.
And it's our best seller by a large margin.
Now, how much would that cost if I'm going to do, a relatively late model, say a Ram 1500?
They're about 1,200 installed.
1200 is because there is an
Yeah,
installation
like-
process, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first install is a little, you've got to make sure the rails are on correct so that it goes in the right place. And
Yeah,
after
so
that,
it
their
lines
design
up.
is brilliant that you can take it on and off fairly easily.
Yeah.
And it is pretty weather secure once it's on and installed correctly. Am I right?
Very weather secure and very secure for your valuables you keep in the back.
Right.
Versus a camper shell.
Well, and that's the reason we have on our truck, on the in-wheel time truck, the gear wouldn't fit under this.
Right.
So we had to go to a regular camper shell, but this was where we really
to go.
See,
wanted
if
to
I
go.
had a truck, that's what I would have right
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
I like the fact that it's a hard surface.
Lockable.
It's lockable, and it's flat and flush with the top of the.
But if you needed to, you could fold it up and you
Yeah.
could still have vertical
Yeah, you
stuff
still
in it.
have the entire bed to use if you need to use it as a truck.
How does it work once it gets folded up? And if I want to use the whole bed, does it just
I'm
cut?
going to see if my arm's long enough to show you.
Okay.
So there's the first level folded.
Yeah.
My arm's too short. Second level folded.
Yeah.
Or you can take it all the way up against the bed of the cab of the truck.
I got you. Oh, that's
So you probably only lose like 3 or 4 inches.
I got to have that. So $1,200 will buy me that installed?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm in.
Well, a lot of my guys at work have this for the back of their pickup trucks because they want to secure the product in there in a weather secure, and then sometimes they have to carry some pretty tall stuff, and that's such a functional trifold top to it.
Yeah. Larry, who makes that thing?
That's Back Industries.
Read the sign. It says back.
Well, I can't read it from here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
there's some friends that you have. You just every once in a while, I just want to walk up there and just kind of slap
Smack
them
'em in
upside
the
the back of the head. Yeah.
So, but you also offer the window shade soft cover, I see.
You know what? We still sell one every blue moon, but they're not very popular anymore.
Because everybody wants the hardcover. And actually, if I remember correctly, the hardcover, that trifold, is strong enough to stand on.
Is that fiberglass or
They
aluminum?
have a fiberglass version. This is an aluminum one, and it's about 300 pounds weight it will hold. So some of us can stand on it.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on. Do you want to go back to the shop, or do you want to just stay out
I'll
here?
tell you what, this is one of my coolest things that I sell. We have it on our ranch truck because when you go to load your heavy load in the truck, then you just pull it,
slide in,
and it rolls right out to you.
Oh, it's the drawer.
Yeah, we looked at that
it's
for
a
our
drawer
truck.
that slides out.
And what's the capacity of that? What kind of weight can you put in that?
That's 1,500 pounds.
Wow,
Dang.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
And we've gone more than that because I've put a ton of corn on it before, literally a ton.
Oh, going to the deer lease?
Yes, sir.
Throwing bags of corn on it?
Right, and when the grown man's too old to crawl up inside the cab anymore.
Yeah, and with the camper cover like we've got for our gear for our remote, I mean, that would be ideal to be able to get up in there so we don't have to climb up in there.
Are you sucking up again?
Yeah.
Trying.
That's it.
How much is something like that?
They've got different sizes, different options, but they're starting in the 1,500 range.
Installed.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's probably a worthwhile investment.
If you're working out of your
moving
truck.
a lot of stuff
Oh,
in and
yeah.
out of the back of the truck.
That's correct. And for the guy that's working out of his truck that does not want to run a camper shell, there's new deck system.
Yeah, I saw that on TV, I think it was. That's pretty cool. It does take up the bottom half, pretty much, of your bed, but, the Jeep Gladiator isn't much deeper than that, and that's the way that they designed the thing, because that way you don't have to dig down. They made it higher.
Top of the wheel well down.
You have a bed, but you also have secure drawers.
If you need to load plywood or you need to load a 4x4, you still got the flat bed to load it all on top of.
Interesting.
That's creative.
Yeah. Do you sell a lot of those?
We're selling more and more of these. They're becoming more popular.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty genius idea because it gives you both things, the functional bed and the secure storage.
Yep. Okay, well, I wanted to mention to everybody that not only do these guys sell all these accessories and everything and install them, but they've got a shop back there in the back that they do lots of conversions. Not only just, things like install camper shells or these kind of items.
They'll install all of this.
All of this, yes, wheels, tires. But he's got a full shop back there in the back. As a matter of fact, back in the day when I did have the Corvette.
It's getting a little louder as we walk out here.
That's okay. We can handle that. Back in the day when we had the 66 Corvair, they did all the suspension on it, lowering the suspension. And so they're certainly capable of, and they do quite a bit of conversion.
Can't see I'm out here right now. So.
That's all right. They need to stop working while we're out there.
Hey, can you hang on a second?
There.
There we go. Man, it got dark back here, didn't it?
Yeah, turn out the lights.
There you go. So
we go.
Yeah, it's a full service shop, and I see that.
So here's Shane. He's just putting on a leveling kit this morning. Very nice, simple, but makes a big difference to the look of the truck.
A lowering kit. So not only
leveling.
A leveling.
On your leveling kit, are you raising the front, lowering the back, or doing
raising the front 2 inches is the most popular?
Okay, because that gives them a little bit of a lift and makes the truck balanced visually.
What are you doing to the Jeep?
The Jeep, we just put an LS motor in it.
Nice. You know, they're making a V8 in a Wrangler these days, you know.
392 Hemi from Jeep.
I already have mine on order.
Wow.
All right. What's that back there? What's that blue thing back there?
Chevy.
That is a 72 Chevy sitting on the ground.
Wow, nice. Is that a customer car or is that one of you guys' cars?
That is a customers that we corrected and fixed for them.
Gotcha.
We repaired it so it's safe and drivable.
Oh, doing the suspension work after somebody did the mods?
Yeah, again, I think that was done at home and not done the very best.
Yeah.
Hey, there are those tires that are actually mounted on a Jeep.
There they are. This is a customer's coil-over long arm YJ.
I was going to say, the wheelbase has been lengthened, isn't it?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Those look good on a minivan.
Yeah.
All the way back to the corners.
That is one bad-looking Jeep. I love the look of
menacing.
that thing.
Tell me that thing wouldn't throw some mud.
Menacing.
Oh, we haven't tried it in the mud yet, but it climbs the rocks real good.
Yeah, does that climb that wall over there between you and your next-door neighbor?
Probably would.
Actually, if you look, you can see the tires do stick out beyond the front bumper. So
Yeah.
if
See
you get
that.
it to grab, it's going.
So if you just put 3 4x4s on the ground in front of it, it'll climb up, stair step up them till you get the tire up on the wall. Huh?
Look at that one there.
So
Yes.
did you do the complete suspension on that?
We did.
Wow, nice job.
I don't know if you can see on this one, those are solid 60-61 arms. And these, I'm just showing them better because we got a better view. Same as on the white one.
And I assume that guy's not a scuba diver.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
no, those
that's
are air tanks.
is that
again-
for the suspension system?
No, that is when you go out rock crawling, you're going to lower your air pressure down around
tires.
10 pounds or a little
Yeah.
lower.
Oh, so instead of
you can
having
get
a
back up.
compressor that you talked about earlier, he just stores compressed air.
Correct, because when you put the LS under these hoods, there's not a whole lot of room left. So this is a better option for
Good
room.
idea.
I was thinking maybe they had a little juice back there in those bottles.
Hey, between these two guys, one of them will before long, I promise.
Yeah, nitrous. Well, it's clear that Texas Truck Works does
Everything.
bang up job, not only with stocking accessories for pretty much everything that you could ever want for your truck or Jeep, but also a great shop and great personnel that do this on a full-time basis. So you guys know your stuff.
Now I'm trying to get to one last one.
Ooh,
A 46 Willis.
nice.
Oh, nice.
So apparently you're doing everything to the 46 Willis.
It is complete frame off, going back together now. You can see the frame horns, the new suspension. We walk past the diff that goes in it. There's the motor sitting on that side to go back in it.
You're going to put the original motor in it?
Yes, sir.
So this is a
Nice.
restoration.
Refreshed, ready to go.
Very nice.
Oh, how cool.
Now, do you guys do your own engine work?
We do not do the internal engine work usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yes,
you can.
we will on some jobs, but on this one, it had to go to the machine shop.
Yeah, you give that to the people who are expert at it, and they give you back a pretty
Right.
fine product.
Yeah, they've got the machinery to do it correctly.
So, Larry, TexasTruckWorks.com is the website. You can get the phone number, the location, the whole 9 yards. And we're going to have them call you personally at home about 2 o'clock in the morning if they're on the other side of the earth.
Yeah, that way if they think about what they want, they can get it in time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So,
just let's make sure which phone number that goes to.
yeah, okay, well, we'll do. Larry, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much for the tour
Yes.
today. We really appreciate
Good
it.
stuff.
Yeah, and you'd have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Thank you. Larry Baldwin, Texas Truck Works Christmas gift ideas. And there you go. One of our sponsors here on the program. And
Everything from hats and T-shirts to
Gun racks.
a $40,000 upgrade on your truck.
all right, yes, all of that and more. All right, time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars has a look at the Infiniti QX50.
Yes, sir, I do. And that a really interesting little vehicle. We had the 2021 model, the Autograph Edition.
Of course you did.
Autograph.
The all-wheel drive Autograph Edition.
You guys never drive the base car. You always drive
Well, you know,
the autograph.
You've seen
the
one
limited,
stripper,
the
you've seen them
platinum.
all. That's all I can tell you. Is so
You know Becky's watching.
Did you
right?
just see what I thought you said?
I said I'm looking at the Infiniti QX50.
And he said, if you've
autograph.
seen one stripper, you've seen them all. Okay. I'm going to write that down. I can use that somewhere in my life.
There you
I think.
go.
All right.
Good
go
for
ahead.
you.
We're talking about
We're sure you can, Don.
exactly. You need some change for a 20. We're talking about the.
No, but I could use some $1 bills.
That's what I'm thinking. So what we're really talking about here is the compact luxury SUV CUV. Now, this vehicle comes standard with front-wheel drive, but we happen to have the all-wheel drive option that's on it. Comes in 5 different trim levels: the Pure, Luxe, Essential, Sensory, and the Autograph, which is the one we have. Now, this vehicle was completely redesigned in 2019, so they've just kind of tweaked it every year since then. So it's got this really nice big clamshell type hood that's got a kind of a unique 4-link hinge system on it, and what it does, the way it opens and closes and the way it's laid out, it lets it fit into the body lines and kind of makes it part of it flow into the body lines much easier. The headlights are a really nice LED design, which is really the same as on the Q60 sports model. So it's a very adaptive type headlight setup, and it's got the reverse. When you put it in reverse, the side mirrors tilt down and light up. They're heated, of course. Got a power rear lift gate on it. It's rolling on. We had the optional 20-inch wheels instead of the 19-inch aluminum wheels that are factory on it. And we had a nice big panoramic sunroof on it. Now, when we got into the interior, we had the white, and I'm talking about white leather seating surfaces on it. I mean, it is white, and it looked really cool with
Is
the
it
paint
white,
that we had.
Mike?
It is white.
You don't want to be a landscaper and own this.
Yeah.
Really.
It was Sylvania white.
Even with and it had some nice blue accents. Climate control front seats on it. The second row
that's good looking.
folds down. It's got tons of tech built into this thing. The Infiniti InTouch system comes with a heads-up display. Got the emergency rear braking system that's built into this. Got pedestrian identification, so it'll stop if it recognizes that there's a pedestrian there. Rear auto braking. The ProPilot Assist is one of the better autonomous systems that's out there that's being developed. So there's a ton of technology in this vehicle. And it included the 16-speaker Bose audio system that will just sound awesome inside this vehicle. I'm telling you.
Jimmy Buffett sounded pretty good. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Him and a little AC/DC to kind of mix it up. It sounds so cool. Now, you only have one choice of an engine up under the hood in this vehicle. It's a 2.0-liter turbo, but it is the variable compression engine. Goes from a 8 to 14
To one compression.
to 1 compression in it. And what I didn't understand, I always thought high compression, high performance. They actually use the 8.0 compression level is what they consider their high performance because they can boost up the turbo.
Right.
So I learned something pretty cool there, I thought. 268 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. It's backed by a CVT. Now, the CVT acts like a CVT, but in this vehicle, if you step off into it and you really hammer it, it actually will give you like the feeling of an
Sensation of a
8-speed.
shift.
And you can actually use the paddle shifters to shift it.
Wow.
And so it doesn't feel like it, but it does use premium fuel. Now, the EPA says in the city you should look at about 22, on the highway 28, combined 25, which is, I got a little bit less than 25.
I can't
Actually,
imagine
got
why.
23.
You did admit that you
Well-
hammered it a lot.
Well, I had to learn, had research to
Right,
do to
that's
understand how all this CVT
Go
worked
on,
in.
go on,
all
go
this
on.
stuff. And when you're driving this vehicle around town, it's got a very comfortable ride on it. And out on the highway, it's firm. It gives you the sense that you're in control. It's not a heavy, and it doesn't wander all over the place, but it's just a kind of a very satisfying drive, not like your race car, but just, okay, I like driving this vehicle. If you're looking for something to compare it to, you might look over at the Nissan Murano, which is the cousin. Or you might actually step up to really look at the luxury side of it, the Audi Q5, which is going to start around $43,300. The Mercedes-Benz GLC class starts around $43,200. Now, a base QX50, where you get into the pure model, starts at $37,950 for the front-wheel drive version. All-wheel drive, when you get in the upper trim levels, is an option on any of them. Now, the QX50 Autograph that we were driving starts at $56,850.
Yikes.
It's not bad.
That's a
So-
bump.
Yeah, but
It's a
not
hump,
bad.
but there's a lot of package in there. And the MSRP is tested, was, I say only, compared to the base price of it, $61,700 with the content that we had on it. So there's a lot of technology, a lot of
Well,
drivability
the
here.
technology is quite expensive.
It is, and with the all-wheel drive, that adds quite a bit to it too. So this is the review of the compact luxury SUV Infiniti QX50.
Good tight feel for a stripper.
Let's move on.
I'm not saying a word.
Well, no, I think we should discuss that in detail.
No.
Not until after I get to where I can edit that out for this in the Infiniti.
All right. Hey, this is the In-Wheel Time Car Show. We thank you for joining us on this Saturday. We're going to have our next segment coming up right after a quick break. Stay with us.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy a Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, December 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one place. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a 3-hour friends and family event. The Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, December 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Loopy's in Katy. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there too, and you're invited to join us. We'll see you there. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In-Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In-Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the In-Wheel Time Car Show, your award-winning all things automotive place. Today, we have in the studio with us Mr. Michael A. Mars, woo-woo, Mr. Conrad DeLong.
All right.
What's your middle name?
Well, it's actually John Paul.
John Paul, like the Pope.
John, well, probably not. John
Paul DeLong?
John was my father's brother's name, who died in World War II.
Okay.
Went in through Normandy and got killed in Metz, France. And Paul was my mom's dad's name.
So where did Conrad come from?
That was my dad's name and his dad's name and his dad's name.
So is there Conrad in your name anywhere?
Yeah, Conrad.
Conrad John Paul.
Conrad John Paul.
Conrad's my first name.
Okay.
John is my baptismal name. Paul is my
prison name.
No, confirmation name.
Uh-huh.
No, Leroy is my prison name.
Isn't that like John, Paul, George, and Ringo?
Yeah, John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
Perfect. Well, see, we learned something new.
There you go.
And there's actually, legally, Conrad John Paul DeLong III, because my grandfather.
Is that on your birth certificate?
Yeah, my grandfather. Well, no, it's John and Paul were added after the birth
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's on his pre-release form.
my grandfather was a Conrad. My dad was Conrad Jr., and then I'm Conrad.
That's
the
really
third.
cool, though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's good.
Good history.
Yeah.
And spelt with a K.
Yeah.
I know.
Which is the Austrian way to spell Conrad, not the German way to spell Conrad. But there's all the stories about.
And DeLong, what is that?
Well, the area of Germany we were from, my grandfather, I wasn't from there. My grandfather was the Alsace-Lorraine region of Germany, France. And it was always, every war, that section of land switches between Germany and France. So there's a French influence, but a German background. So
Interesting.
to somebody.
I don't have any of that.
Me either.
No.
Well,
I ain't got
yeah,
none
but
of
you're
that.
from.
I just
you're
got a
from
bunch
Wisconsin.
of Okies in Kansas.
So the Armstrongs immigrated from Scotland to Terre Haute, Indiana.
Okay.
There's a Christmas movie in that somewhere. I think that they mentioned Terre Haute.
Isn't that
in
on
Christmas
Hallmark?
Story.
It's on Hallmark. I was
Hallmark
watching that
Channel.
last night. Yeah.
Hallmark Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mom's side of the family from Alabama, and
From
dad's
L.A.?
Alabama.
Lower Alabama.
No.
That's Laura Alief.
Yeah, Laura Alief, that's it. And Mr. Zekin over here from Detroit,
There you
Michigan.
go. That's
Him
where
and Ted Nugent. And,
yeah, oh yeah. Detroit is where the weak are killed and eaten.
That's right, today, for sure. All right, well, enough of all of that. Mars, I'm not even...
Our family history. We're not going there.
It's hands up on
Mars'
Mars.
family tree looks like a telephone pole.
All right, so, a couple of months ago, we had a couple on the air with us, Andy and Mercedes Lilienthal, and they had a car called a Delica.
Yes.
And look at them. There they are, up in the great Northwest. It's so good to see you guys. Clearly, it is a little bit more chilly there than it is here in Texas.
It is.
It's about 34.
34. So hello from wet Pacific Northwest.
Yes. So how are you guys doing? It's great to see you.
We're doing good. It's very thankful that it's sun here today. Yesterday it was pouring rain all day, so that would have made for an interesting podcast.
Yeah, give it 10 minutes.
Yeah, give it 10 minutes. So
we're doing great.
You had a very interesting car, and clearly you still do. It's called a Delica. So let's start with that and tell everybody that hasn't seen you before, what is a Delica?
Yeah, so a Delica is it's actually a portmanteau or a combination of words. It originally stood for delivery car, so Delica, delivery car. They originally debuted in the late 60s in Japan, and but they've evolved quite a bit since then. So what we have is a 1994 Mitsubishi Delica Space Gear. It is a four-wheel drive van. Ours is turbo diesel, four-wheel drive with a legitimate four-wheel drive system with a low-range transfer case. Ours has a 2.5-liter turbo diesel engine in it, but they came with a few different engine choices. They were sold kind of around the world, except for North America for the most part. So you could get them in Japan and in Europe and other parts of Asia and such. So being that it wasn't sold here, we had to wait until they were 25 years old to bring one in. And this is actually our second one. The first one we had was a little bit older, a little bit different body style, but we really like it because it's a great adventure platform, great for going off the pavement and getting to more remote camp spots and just taking great adventures.
Where did you guys find it?
This one, Florida. Yeah, so it's the classic story where you find that unicorn, right? You find that vehicle that you just, this is the one, and then where is it located?
Halfway around the world.
Literally across the country, literally. And so we ended up talking with the seller, and we thought, you know what, this is the one, and we just made it happen. We flew to Florida back in May, took all the necessary precautions for COVID and whatnot.
That was when it was a lot less of an issue.
Yeah, and then we ended up taking delivery of the van, and drove it from Florida to Oregon. Stayed at truck stops and camped.
Brought our own food to make sure to be socially distanced as much as we could. So other than literally rest stops and fuel, we were self-contained.
Well, that's a little bit.
That's
a little bit of a roll of the dice to go jump in a 25-year-old vehicle you know very little about and drive 3,000 miles from Florida to back to Oregon.
Yeah,
we learned a lot.
Yeah, I'd say we like to live dangerously, but it's I think we're just a little bit, we have a screw loose, perhaps. It's a metric size screw.
Right,
anyway.
right.
Not only that, but the relationship is still solid.
Yeah, after all of that. So are you standing by the 94 Delica?
We are. We actually have you mounted on our jerry can right now, so we'll take you off.
Let me take you off here.
Okay.
All right, so let me switch the screen to the front.
Please.
If I can do that.
And
there we go.
And people may not.
Here was your camera stand.
Okay.
But so this is a Delica. As you can see, it's kind of rounded off. Some people said it looks a little bit like a Toyota Previa.
Yes.
And it sort of does, but it's like a Toyota Previa on steroids with a diesel engine. So the diesel engine makes about 140 horsepower and a 232 foot-pounds of torque. It's a 2.8 liter boosted 4-cylinder engine. So like I had mentioned, it's got 4-wheel drive. It's got a low-range transfer case. It's actually got kind of a trick transfer case. It's called a Super Select transfer case. And so what it has is you have 2-wheel drive. Then you have a viscous coupler. So you have 4-wheel drive high with an open center differential. Then you move it into 4-wheel high lock, and that locks that center differential. And then you have a legit 4-wheel drive low range. So we made a couple of modifications to ours already. We've only had it about 6 months, but we've been busy on it. So we have on the back here, the most obvious thing is this swing away tire carrier bumper and jerry can holder. This is from a company in Canada called Coastal Off-Road. They sell weld together kits. So we had this welded together and powder coated, and it mounts our spare tire here. So we have a full-size spare that's easily accessible should we actually need it. It's a 30 by 950 BF Goodrich KO2. So that's a little bit bigger than the factory size. It's obviously an all-terrain tire, not a highway tire. So on steel wheels, which are easy to replace or bend back into shape with a hammer, if that had to happen.
Andy, let me interrupt you and ask you, why did you pick a 94 Mitsubishi Delica? You know, they make things like Jeeps. They make, Toyota Previas. They make all sorts of different vehicles. Why this particular one?
Yeah, I like difficult things in life. That's why.
We do.
No, it's
we like a challenge.
We just have a penchant for the different kind of vehicles. I write a column for a magazine called Trails, and it's called Andy's Oddities, and it's all about kind of different 4-wheel drives. I've had Jeeps, great vehicles. Don't get me wrong, great communities. My first 4-wheel drive was a Suzuki Sidekick, and I just kind of liked having something a little bit different than the Jeep or the Tacoma or the 4Runner. They're all great vehicles, don't get me wrong. But I just kind of like something different. I also like the turbo diesel aspect of it, the low-end torque, that kind of thing, even just the diesel noise.
So you were that guy that I went to high school with, the only guy in town that I ever knew that had the Nash Metropolitan.
I love Nash Metropolitans.
or the Renault Dauphine.
Yeah,
yes.
Or a Dauphine. Actually, it's funny you mentioned the Nash. I was actually an apprentice judge at the Forest Grove Concours d'Elegance here in Portland. And guess which category I got put into?
That category.
Avanti. Nash Avanti. So.
What's your feeling about a Citroen?
I've never driven one. I know of them. I think they're pretty cool. I mean, they make so many of them, still in business. But I grew up with Mitsubishi. That's the other thing.
So your Delica becomes quite a conversation starter when you pull into an area that's got other off-roaders, because I would assume 95% of them have never seen it, much less know what it is.
Yeah, that's right. I always tell people, because I write quite a bit about these vehicles, and I always tell people, if you're not willing to talk to people at gas stations and rest stops and pretty much any trailhead or wherever you go, this is not the vehicle for you, because everybody's like, whoa, what is that? Like, oh, it's a Mitsubishi Delica. Oh, it's right-hand drive. Yeah. Is that a turbo diesel? Yeah, it is. It's not 4-wheel drive. Yeah, it's 4-wheel. Wow, well, where'd you get it? Well, we had it. How much you pay for it? Well, yeah, I mean, it's so, I got to go. I've got an appointment. They're very, very much conversation starters. I mean, just by the looks of it, right? I mean, it's a van with knobby tires and big swingway bumper on the back and all that.
Yeah, all the neighbors think you're the crazy guy with the lifted family van.
Oh, they don't think that. They know that. Yeah.
How many miles did it have on it when you bought it?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think it was. Do you remember Mercedes?
Oh gosh,
I think it was
60,000.
Oh, not many.
Yeah, I think it was just like 45,000 actual miles.
Wow, so you really scored on this one if that's all it was. I assume that it was an older couple down in Florida that had it?
No, it was actually there's a shop in Fort Myers, California called Good Karma.
Fort Myers. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Fort Myers, Florida, not California.
Sorry.
Wrong coast.
Sorry, I'm on the West Coast here. Anyway, Fort Myers, Florida, and called Good Karma, Karrma, Good Karma Vans or Car Automotive. The owner's name is Kellen Carr, and he has started bringing in Delicas here and there. And I was on his forum site, delicaforum.com, and we were just chatting. I still had my old van, and he said, "Oh yeah, I just picked up this one just brought it in, and man, it's so cool." And
it's a manual too.
And I said, "Oh, that's cool. I'm actually thinking about selling my other one." And he says, "Oh yeah." And he showed me pictures. I said, "Man, that's sweet." I said,
really clean too.
I said, "It's not a manual, is he?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, tell me more." And so we got talking, and this was right in May. This was actually in March. And we had just we were just about to sell our other van. We sold it almost immediately. And then we thought, you know what? How crazy do we want to be? We decided to be pretty crazy. So it was a good find.
So you've obviously done something there to the front end as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is Coastal Off-Road's front bumper. So this is also a weld-together kit. It has an integrated winch mount. We've got our Warn Xeon 8S winch up front there, so we can recover ourselves. The kit has a skid plate option that we went with, so it's got a nice bit of front end protection, helps protect the oil pan, helps protect the oil filter. We've got the grill guard up here for a little bit of extra protection. We have Light Force 6-inch driving lights. These are their Venom lights. And then we have Light Force Rock 40 floods here pointed out to the angles, kind of for ditch lights, so we can see anything approaching us.
How much do those two bumpers weigh?
That's a good question. I don't remember. Do you remember, Mercedes?
Oh, gosh. I want to say the front, I might be off, maybe 80 pounds.
I think it's about 75 to 80 pounds on the front. But keep in mind, we pulled off a bunch of stuff, too. There was a factory bull bar and factory lights. So I'm sure we tacked on some weight. I'm not going to lie about that.
Did you do any suspension modifications?
That's the next thing on our list. So we are
still working on
at suspension. Yeah, we're looking at suspension modifications right now. There's a couple of companies out there that do offer lift kits for these. It's a rear coil spring with the solid axle. The front is independent with torsion bars. So there's no big lift kits or anything by just jacking up the front end. So, you get generally heavier duty torsion bars. You crank them up a bit. The rear is about a 1.5 to 2 inch lift with heavier duty springs, and then shocks all around.
Well, Andy and Mercedes, I have to tell you that back in the day, my dad had a friend. His name was Ivan Baxter. And Ivan Baxter bought things like miniature railroads, set them up out in cow fields, and it was a steam-powered kiddie train that they'd take the kids for a ride on. He was one of those kind of guys. And we'd go to his house, and there would be, a dozen kids there, and it was almost this menagerie of things in the backyard of the most odd, weird, crazy things. And I mean this in every due respect, please. But I think that you guys are the coolest nerds that I have ever met in my entire life.
Hey, I've been called
We'll take that as a compliment.
Well, it was meant as one.
It's meant as a complete compliment because I love you guys. Listen, talk about somebody that is off the wall. That would be me, and that's true. I could totally go along with you guys on this thing. It's odd enough that you're going to bring anybody and everybody in on a conversation at every gas station you go to. What is it?
Right, and it looks really, really cool.
Yeah, it actually does.
And
look
it's all
cool.
functional.
I like the hood scoop.
We do a piece on our Facebook page called Unicorn Hunting, and you are the unicorn hunter because you have truly found that unicorn. That's pretty cool.
Do you have pictures posted on a website or something that we can grab and make this the unicorn hunting feature of the week?
We do. You can check out our website, crankshaftculture.com, like my patch here on the hat. We're also on Instagram at Crankshaft Culture. So those are, and Facebook at Crankshaft Culture. We do have a YouTube channel as well.
Well, I have to tell you.
But go ahead.
No,
I was going to say, before we run out of time here, I was going to ask, don't show them, but that other one that's sitting up there underneath the cover. I can't even remember the name. How to say the name of it?
Pajero.
Oh, Pajero.
Pajero. Yeah.
Which one?
Which
one? We've got two.
The one that you went in Alaska at minus 43 degrees in. We're going to talk about that in January.
Oh, I love that. So we're going to have them back in January?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about this other thing they've got up under there.
You know, the next time that we talk, after we get done with the January feature, I think that we need to just sit around the campfire with you guys, and I'm talking about your living room, and we can just talk about all of these kind of weird off the road things that you do. I mean, we want to be you.
They're into driving. They can drive it down to Texas. Drive it down to Texas.
Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe, you know, a summertime in the Texas Hill Country would be a good meetup place for us.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Fantastic. Beautiful country.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Well,
Love Texas.
Listen, and we love you guys, and I hope that you took out everything as a compliment that I said, because it was. 94 Mitsubishi Delica and Andy and Mercedes Lilienthal. It is a true pleasure to talk to you guys again. We wish you a happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. And let's talk again in January, and we'll talk about Alaska.
Sounds great.
Sounds great. Thanks for having us again. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Love you. Talk to you guys soon. I love them. I truly do.
It's actually a pretty cool minivan of all things, as a minivan that's lifted with the big fat tires on it.
What a fun couple. I want to be them. Well, at least for a day or two.
Wait until you hear about this other one that they've got.
I can only imagine
and what they have been doing with it.
Yeah. And by the way, it was not a put down at all.
Oh, no.
To
I think they
refer to them
enjoyed it.
as the Nash Metropolitan, because back in the day, the Nash Metropolitan was a big nerdmobile. But since then, there's a guy that here in town has a Nash Metropolitan, and he has a ginormous V8 with a blower sticking out of it.
Yeah, it's yellow with white.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him at the auto show.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, that's a ton of fun. We like the weird and the
eclectic.
That's why we like you, Don.
Weird and eclectic.
Well, look at me. Look at the shirt I'm wearing today. This is my Christmas Hawaiian outfit.
Yeah. It's not a muumuu, people.
And I thought it was a shirt that had.
It is a muumuu, but he's just being nice.
Hurricane Harvey on it.
I'm thinking tiny bubbles.
All right, time now for
He's our Don Ho.
Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. And last week we started with part 1 of brake fluid.
Right.
And I guess we're going to do it part 2.
Yeah, last week we talked about what .3, .4, .5, .5.1 is. This week we're going to talk about the viscosity differences of brake fluid. So viscosity is a fluid's resistance to flow. Some people look at it as the thickness or the thinness of a fluid, but the true statement is the fluid's resistance to flow. So new cars and the high-tech cars that you're seeing today, they are actually speccing a low viscosity brake fluid. You know, brake fluid to a large degree hasn't really changed very much since the 50s. Brake fluid, whether it's .3 or .4. But now when you look at a lot of the European imports, the Highline European imports, they're asking for a low viscosity fluid. And a lot of that's driven around the electronic stability programs that utilize the analog braking system and the traction control system to keep the car straight in odd situations. You know, back in the old days, you'd had to manually pump the brake pedal driving on slippery conditions. Today, with the analog brake system, that's not the case. And the new analog brake system does all of that for you. It generates rapid pulsations of the brake pedal when it detects one of the wheels are locking up or not rotating properly. But in order for those systems to work properly, they have to have a fluid that flows quicker through the ABS system and through the brake calipers so they can cycle on and off up to 15, 20, 30 times a second. And that low viscosity brake fluid is part of that new system as the ABS systems advance. You want to make sure you use the correct fluid in your vehicle. So you want to check the owner's manual. The other thing you can do is you can check the top of your brake reservoir is going to tell you what brake fluid is specified for it, whether it's .3 or .4. And you can put .4 in a .3 system, but you should not put .3 in a .4 system. And then you also have to look for those new low viscosity brake fluids, and that's generally going to be at the Mercedes, BMW, Audi level is when they go with the low viscosity brake fluids. And then there are some other brake fluids out there called Super .4 and .4 Plus that are spec .4, the higher temperature, but they actually even offer a higher boiling point temperature than the Department of Transportation requires to be a .4 fluid. So know what brake fluid your vehicle requires and use the correct brake fluid, and you make sure you use the correct viscosity brake fluid, especially when you're dealing with some of these highline European imports. The thicker, the more viscous brake fluid could be an issue and start clicking on lights for you if you don't use the right brake fluid. And
wait
well,
just a minute.
We need to get your mic on, and then
Say
you
say that again?
What you're talking about, can we purchase these different levels of dot anywhere, or specifically dealers, or like an aftermarket shop?
Yeah, the various DOT level brake fluids are available lots of places. Needless to say, we sell them at BG. Thank you very much for the softball throw there. But yeah, they are available, at any of the better parts stores.
I got you. Okay.
And with that, we'll go to a break.
No, we're not going to do a break.
We got work to do.
That was just my pun. But go ahead.
Oh,
it
no pun.
It was his handoff.
It didn't work.
You didn't mention any .com.
Elon Musk has moved to Texas to focus on two big priorities for his company: SpaceX's new Starship vehicle and Tesla's new Gigafactory, currently under construction in Austin. There are also potentially enormous tax implications for Mr. Musk, who recently became the world's second wealthiest person. Texas has no personal income tax, while California imposes the highest personal income levies in the nation on his richest residents. Musk, 49, has lived in the L.A. area where SpaceX is headquartered for 2 decades. Tesla is headquartered in Palo Alto, California. And the electric car maker's flagship auto plant is across the San Francisco Bay in Fremont, California.
The old GM NUMMI plant.
So welcome to Texas, Mr. Musk.
And you heard that Ford and the UAW and General Motors opposed a bill in the state of Michigan that was going to allow Tesla to sell cars in Michigan. So they opposed the bill, and now Tesla's having trouble selling cars in Michigan, kind of the way they do here in Texas as well.
General Motors will launch a trailer-capable version. Understand that. Trailer-capable version of its Super Cruise technology on the 2022 GMC Sierra Denali, GMC said on Wednesday.
So Super Cruise with a trailer behind you.
Yeah. That's a lot of computer stuff going on there.
Yeah, it is.
The driver assist hands-free technology is now available on Cadillac models only, but the Chevrolet Bolt EV will also be equipped with Super Cruise next year. The enhanced version of Super Cruise will enable trailering for the 80% of Sierra drivers who tow. Super Cruise will be available on the late 22 model year light-duty pickups. Super Cruise, which utilizes a driver attention system, LiDAR mapping data, cameras, sensors, and GPS, is available on more than 200,000 miles of compatible roads in the U.S. and Canada. And, of course, that grows on a daily basis.
And you heard that Mercedes-Benz new vans are going to be built on the next generation electric versatility platform. So they are, all those gray Amazon vans you see, the next gen are going to be all electric.
Ford Motor Company delayed production of the Bronco SUV after coronavirus-related logistics issues hampered the German supplier Webasto's ability to equip a Michigan facility in time to make the vehicle's removable roof, according to people familiar with the situation. Webasto declined to comment, referring questions to Ford. A Ford spokesman declined to name the supplier or specific issue involved in the Bronco delay.
He did it.
He's all right.
They also referred to the statement it issued last week announcing production would move to summer of 2021.
You heard that General Motors will not be offering the buyout program they're offering Cadillac. They will not offer that to the GMC dealers. It's going to be a Cadillac exclusive. We talked about that last week.
Solo, standalone caddies.
Great.
The other thing that I wanted to mention, and I'll mention it again before we leave, is that we're moving the show to a different time. We're going to go from 8 to 11 beginning next Saturday at the Tailpipes and Tacos event. So
it's 8 a.m. to 11
a.m. Central
Standard Time. Yeah.
So get up early and listen. We have to get up early to do the show.
And while we're doing it, because we want to have 6 podcasts a week, and it takes all of that time to be able to do that. So,
when you get up, just turn this on and
roll back over.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, Suze. Hey, well, congratulations to Michael Bankston and Dave and Laura Pitts, winners of our Black Bear Diner gift certificates this morning. And with that, that is it for this episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. When you're on Facebook, please give us a like and tell your friends about us. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com. 30-minute but daily podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon, Pandora, and Podcast Addict. Special thanks to all of our guests today. In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Our video and marketing sacker is Jeffrey Zekin. This week's In Wheel Time Car Show is produced and directed by Rudolph the Red-Nosed Alky. Special thanks in particular to Mr. George Skelton and his group up there in Temple, Texas for lunch provided
The
today.
catering manager
For
this
booking
weekend.
agent and podcast flicker, Mike Out of This World Mars, His Royalty King Conrad DeLong, Jeff D.Z. Zekin, I'm Don Armstrong saying so long for now. And hope that you'll join us again live next Saturday at our new time, 8 to 11, from Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Thanks for being part of the In Wheel Time family. And hasta luego, our dear, dear friends.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy a Lupi Tortilla breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, December 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all in one place. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a 3-hour friends and family event. The Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, December 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too, and you're invited to join us. We'll see you there. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild to wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com.
Bye, y'all.